What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Funkatopia Live. As many of you know, this is the pre-show, so get comfortable. We're not going to be starting the show for about another 19 minutes, 18 minutes, something like that. So get comfortable, chill, relax, and if you're watching this after the fact, you can fast forward 20 minutes and get right to the show. But this is a little bit of a pre-show, and we got lots of different things that are actually happening now. What's Susie? What's going on? Susie's in the house. Hello, Susie. How are you? Yeah, and it is a wine night, just to be clear. Want to make sure that everybody's aware that this is a wine night. I'm wearing a very cool shirt, feeling normal. And I tell you, I don't know if you can actually hear music. Let's see if let's see something. You can hear a little bit of music in the background, but this is actually a little bit tricky because I am a little bit concerned because I've got a lot of different things going on tonight. I don't know why I decided, hey, I know what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, and do that. Well, and Cammy, I'm glad the music sounds great because that basically means that Facebook will either shut it down or YouTube will cut it. YouTube seems to make too much of a difference because pretty much YouTube decides they're going to just take it down. Well, not take it down, but they come into this weird balancing act. They just, what's funny is that we did the Gary Scheider was on the show, and we played a couple of his songs, and they were pretty much new songs. I mean, they were on his brand new album, and Gary Scheider is not, no offense to Gary, he's Garrett. I'm sorry, he's fantastic, but I mean, he's not Prince or Madonna or Lenny Kravitz or some huge megastar. And man, YouTube was picking up that algorithm right away and said, you're not allowed to play that song. And I had to send him an email and say, I have the writer and producer and singer and instrumentalist of the song on the show talking with me, and we're talking about the song. So they still haven't reviewed it. So see, this is part of this problem is going to be stupid algorithms. It's ridiculous. It just doesn't make any sense. But anyways, yeah. So so there's that. So we're kind of dealing with some weirdness. So the other thing too with this is that it's great because you can actually hear the music pretty well. I don't know how well you can hear it, but I'm sure you Angela, what they do is they actually go through a process of they have this automatic. I don't know if you've ever heard of Grace Note. Now, I don't know if Grace Note was ever acquired, but every single song in the world, as long as the music has been submitted to them, it beat matches and does all types of different things that identifies music. That's one of the reasons why this Shazam thing works. And SoundHound, those programs work because you can say, what song is this? And you hold up your phone and it tells you what song it is because they're using this database that kind of matches. Well, Facebook does that now. YouTube does that now. And they do it in this huge fashion where they are constantly using this beat matching or whatever to identify songs that you have placed on the show. And they don't want you to use music that's not yours and you don't have permission to use, even though, again, we're ASCAP licensed. We pay the licensing so that we can actually do that. But it doesn't matter because they have stuff in place to be able to fight you and identify the music and stop you from playing it. But they don't have any normal processes in place for those of us who are actually licensed to play the music, that pay all the licensing fees to play the music. And so every single video that I put up that has music in the background that they hear pieces of, that's the reason why I talk all the time, because you can still hear the music in the background, but with me talking over it, it makes it very, very difficult for the algorithm to actually pick it up. There's also a manual process in this too, that if somebody doesn't like me and has an issue with me, they can actually go directly to any variety of different places that kind of police this stuff, and they can say, this dude, he's playing music on such and such, and it'll be a manual thing, and they can actually take it out. So it's a pain. It sucks. Lisa, what's going on? So what Facebook will do is Facebook will just start disconnecting people and then drop it all together. Facebook has a little bit of when I was live inside Paisley Park, this was the first time I was in Paisley Park, where they actually allowed you to record inside of Paisley Park. So I was walking around and I was like taping different things in the room, and there was music playing in the background. There was music playing in the background, and I wasn't talking over it. I was just kind of letting it be like background music to me walking around Paisley Park. And then Facebook started disconnecting people one by one, and I watched the numbers go up from like the hundreds down to like nothing, all the way down to zero. And then it said, you're playing copyrighted music, and it disconnected the video. YouTube's a little bit different. YouTube doesn't really pay attention to it until after you've processed the video. And then after you've processed the video, what they then do is they'll be okay posting it, as long as it's not like the entire song. It'll be okay posting it, but you won't be able to monetize the video. So you can't have the ads that are running across the bottom or do anything to monetize the video, because you're monetizing the video with music that's not yours. So there's this whole, it's ridiculous. So anyways, it is what it is. I get it. I totally get it. Let me say hello to everybody here. I don't want anybody to go missed. Susie, I already said hello. Cammie, hello. Cammie, Jaden says Merry Christmas to everybody. Yes, Merry Christmas. I'm sure if she was aware of exactly what Hanukkah was, she would say Happy Hanukkah. If she was aware what Kwanzaa was, I'm sure she would say all those things if she was really aware, conscious of that. Oh my God, I'm looking at this hat. This is a hat that was given to me at the One Night Alone tour. And it's got the MPG Music Club. I want you to look at the back. Look at this. That is a dog that got to this. And my wife brought it in and set it down. I'm like, oh, look at that. I'm sure there's a way you can like order these little plastic things and you can just open it up and but it's, so this is actually Jason said she needs the record store in Charlotte that I found Deliverance. Yeah, they actually have a website, so you can actually you don't have to go there. You can actually go to their website and get it. It is available, and here we go, because if I say it out loud, if I say the name of the record store out loud, I'm supporting the bootleggers. And that's one of the things we're going to have a discussion about today, is just because it's just insane. The insanity is just, it's like this ongoing battle between, I'm not a bootlegger. Nobody here is a bootlegger that I'm aware of. But we are very, very obsessive about wanting to hear everything that Prince ever recorded. And so when we see something like that, and we can't obtain it any other way, so anyways, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the positives, the negatives, everything. We're going to be talking about all those things. I get it. I totally get it. Absolutely, I get it. But we're gonna do a devil's advocate thing here tonight, because when I showed a picture of me holding that Deliverance album, it very much parted. It very much parted the seas, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. It was crazy. It was crazy. Who else is here? Yeah, Jason. The name of that record store is Lunchbox. It's Lunchbox Records. Lunchbox Records in Charlotte, and I don't know how many copies they have. Not a lot, I'm sure. But it is an official release, not official release, to be clear. It is a release from the Rogue Music Alliance, who was the company that was originally going to release Deliverance. It's on the label. We'll talk about that. So it is something that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how people got a hold of it, but we'll talk about it tonight. We'll talk about it. Lunchbox Records. I don't know what their website address is. Pamela's Wine or Wine. Because after all that drama about Deliverance Post, I'm ready to whine. Yes. Oh, and tonight, believe it or not, tonight we're actually going to have a phone line. You're going to be able to call in to the show. And hopefully that will all work and I'll be able to hear you and everything will be fine. But yeah, you're going to be able to call into the show and be a part of this discussion. So it ought to be interesting to see what transpires, because I wanted people to be able to, it is what it is. And I'll have to relook at what the phone number is. Let me double check. Because we got it's 2623 We Funk. So 2623 We Funk is the phone number. Do not call in right now. I did not turn the phone lines on. We haven't even started the show, so just chill. I haven't turned on the phone lines yet. I am not running to turn the phone lines on at this moment because, man, we haven't used the phones in a while, so it's actually pretty cool. And it's actually a different number. We had a different number. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, 2623 We Funk is the number to call in a little bit later, and we'll do that. It's going to be ridiculous. And, of course, Rob Rhythm will be joining us tonight. That's the last I heard. Rob Rhythm is going to be joining us tonight. I invited a couple of guests to come on the show. We'll see what happens. If those of you guys who are just tuning in here, this is the pre-show. Our actual show will start in about 7 minutes. I'm not wearing my glasses just because everything is just, I don't know. I just have a headache, and I'm just not doing the glasses thing tonight. I should just get contacts, but I don't know if they can do contacts for I guess my eyesight started to get a little bit worse as time went on. I mean, I can still read stuff here, but over time, my eyesight has just gotten progressively not great. And so now these are like bifocals, kind of. So, but they're not bifocals. Remember when your grandparents or parents used to have them? They had that line, that real distinctive line, so you could see one way up here, and then if you wanted to look down to read, it was a different type of glass down at the bottom, and so you could actually read. And of course, you have those old guys like, let me take a look and see what this says, and then they put your glasses on and think what it is. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna look over this contract. Give me a second. Yep, looks good. I just didn't want to do any of that tonight. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, let me finish my hellos here. Yes, Ronlin, what's going on? How are you? Andre, what's going on? Angela, what's the number? 2623 We Funk. 2623 We Funk. Mailing, Stonepool, Little Red Corvette's in the house. How you doing, dear? Thank you. 2623 We Funk is the number. Do not call it right now. The phone line is not on. I'm not going to turn it on until I announce that it's on, because it's just I want to make sure that it's yes, bifocals, and that's what these are basically. Is it has a different. I guess they don't make them with that defined line in them anymore. Now they're actually making them with one glass, so it kind of transitions. The frame itself, or the lens itself, transitions into that side of it. It annoys me. I don't like wearing glasses because I can read things okay. I can read things fine. It's a little bit different, a little bit difficult to kind of tune in on in some of these things, but it's okay. And then with bigger things like Word documents and stuff, I'll just make them larger. That's going to be the trick. Matter of fact, I've got some notes that I'm going to be talking about tonight, and I'm going to make it big so that I don't have to squint and go. All right, next in the news is hold on, Anna. Where you doing? I've got this on mute. How is this dinging right now? Oh no, I don't have it on mute. All right, so we got one more song here, and then we're gonna start. Carrie, hello. Ronlin, hello. April, hello. Lee, hello. Angela, yes, those were bifocals. Donna, hello. All these people I've already said. Eddie, hello, hello. Yeah, we're going to talk about all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be cool. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so we want to talk about the hats too. I see that Rob Rhythm is sitting in the wing, so we're going to bring him on board here in just a second. People are commenting about the hat. This is the slouch hats. The ones that have all this, and this is actually one that is going to go out to somebody. I just had to put it on because I had to show it because I left the tag on. I will make sure that any loose hair that comes out, and this will be the last one that goes. But I have, and I need to show you guys before we go online here. How many do we have here? We got 3 minutes. We got 3.5 minutes before we got to go on. All the hats did come in. Not all the hats. I still got some more stuff coming in. But what's really cool is that now I've got these slouch hats in different colors. So put this up here. So of course, we have them in black, like I've just showed you. Use the black slouch hats. That's really cool. So I have the black slouch hats. I have other different slouch hats. For instance, I have this gray and black slouch hat. Very, very cool. Obviously, Prince made these very, very famous in his last years. Everybody was like, "Oh, what's he wearing?" Slouch hats. So we got the gray and black. We got the black. Light gray. We also have light gray. Light gray, very, very nice. Light gray. Ooh la la, light gray. And then tan. We have tan as well, which is actually tan pretty cool. A lot of people like the lighter colors. I got tan. I was going to get white, but the problem is that if you get white dirty, you're screwed. And it's just one of those things that's very, very difficult to. And we got more of the purple hats that look blue on here. They're not. This is very, very purple. This is very purple. It's very purple. I don't know why this is the same thing that happened with the Deliverance album. When I took the picture of the Deliverance album from my car, it looked blue in the picture. My skin tone was fine, but it picked up blue. But I do have some more of the purple beanies and also the black beanies that are actually in stock. And as a new addition for the ladies, I have these light purple. It's a light purple Funkatopia beanie. That's it's not slouch beanie. It's very, very cool. And all of them are in the store. I made sure that they were in the store. So you go to funkatopia.com/shop, funkatopia.com/shop, SHOP, and you can get any of those online. And it's free shipping too. Free shipping. So, man, it is lilac. Sure. Mei Ling, this is why I need Mei Ling to be my marketing person. It's lilac. That's the color. Rob, bringing you in.
What? Oh, shit. Hey,
welcome, man. What's going on? Let me see. I may have to switch you. Hold on.
I don't want to switch.
We've heard in just a second. I think I can hear you a little bit. I'm not sure if you guys can hear him, but we're gonna have to switch over here in just.
Can't hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't know if they can hear you.
Well, let me tell you what I really think.
Yeah, hold on a second. Because this is a little bit tricky of an audio scenario that we've kind of been dealing with here. A little bit tricky of an audio thing because we've been. Last time I had Garrett Scheider on, and I could hear him fine. Everybody here can hear him fine, but in the radio station, nobody can hear him. Everybody says they can hear you, so that's perfect. If they can all hear you.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on. I got to switch this over. We're going to 13 seconds. Hold on.
It's like a countdown.
6, 5.
What are we listening
4,
to? Oh,
live.
Got it.
Shut up.
You go in there and you see where they're living and you smell the phone and you see the phone and you walk around the phone trying to get rid of the phone.
Hello. What are y'all doing? Welcome one and all. What's going on, everybody? It's Mr. Christopher with the Funkatopia radio show. I hope everybody's doing good out there in the neighborhood. And let me make sure that my vocals are up just a little bit so that everybody can hear me perfectly fine. Rob, give me a test.
Test.
Oh, don't do this to me now.
You want more than that? What's up, man? You having a good
Are you
day?
moving your mouth? You messing with me?
What are you talking about? Am I moving my mouth? Yeah, I'm moving my mouth because I'm speaking. What?
Are you really talking? Hold on a second.
Yes.
Something else is going on. Rob, give me a test.
Yes, I'm speaking to you.
Oh my God.
Do you hear the words that are coming out of my?
Look through all this stuff and make sure.
Yeah, now we can't hear you. Yeah. This is riveting. Wow. I don't think anybody can hear me. Man, I hope you're not talking to me. Because I can't hear what you're saying. You seem to be really interested in saying whatever you're saying, though. I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah. Nothing. Hello. Technical problems.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, hey.
Hey,
What's up,
I'm
man?
here now. I'm here. Oh, and now
I
I'm
hear
here
you.
everywhere. Now I'm here everywhere. Give me a test, Rob.
Wow, you're everywhere. I'm kind of freaked out.
You hear me now?
Whoa.
Hey, I'm here now.
Yeah,
Now I'm here.
you are here.
Now I'm here everywhere. Now I'm here everywhere.
Wow. Okay.
Why is this audio so delayed on your side?
Hold on. I was trying to figure out if anybody could hear me, so I went to the radio show. That's me. I'll fix that. The echo, if that's what you're talking about.
I need more from you. For those of you
You
tuning
need
in
more
on
from
the
me?
radio station-
Dude, I've given you everything I've got.
Yeah, and it's not much. Now I can.
This is it, man. I got it. It's all I got. I mean, the same headphones I used last time. They usually work pretty well.
yeah.
You should be able to hear me.
The radio is back now. The radio is. I actually have audio on the radio, but for some reason,
All right.
you need to boost your audio because I'm hearing you.
You hear me?
I'm not sure. Like I can turn it. Oh my gosh, I can turn myself up, but in my headphones. But I need more of you.
You need more of me.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a little bit better.
That's a little bit better.
Eh.
Usually this works pretty. All right, hold on a second. Let me see if there's something that'll help this.
Yeah, see, this. You know what's crazy is that right before I started the show, I literally went through a whole entire process of calling in from another line, testing it. I did it. I was playing So it says no one on Facebook. You can't hear anything on Facebook. That's kind of unusual. Check. 1 2 1 2. Test. YouTube is good.
I don't know why
Everybody
it's
says
not.
they can't hear Rob on
Oh, I bet you can hear me better
Facebook.
now, right? I can't.
Yeah, a little bit. Not like me though. Yeah, I can see my level coming up on the radio, but Lisa, so what's going on? Everybody says they can hear both of us on Facebook, and the radio seems okay, but your side on the radio is like really low. Let me see if I can do anything on here. Echo.
Okay. You don't get me.
Hold on a second. Let me see if.
Oh, you don't got me.
Hold on a second. Try it again. I just it said to automatically adjust mic volume, but I went ahead and boosted you all the way up. Let's see if that worked for you at all.
All right,
yep, that's what I'm saying too. Everybody says I have sound on Facebook, but Rob is low on the app. Sorry, this is horrible radio. Just by the way, just so. And apparently Rob is. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can unmute his mic. Oh, Rob has chosen to mute himself, so apparently he's muting himself. All right, so we're going to try to figure this out in some form or fashion, but let's, yeah. And there's also when I heard
I can either hear you or not, or you can hear me. Apparently,
yeah, I can hear you, but I think what's happening here is that you are on like this massive delay because you were listening to me and you were listening to something I said like 20 seconds previous. Anyways.
All right, let me try this.
We may have to switch back to the old school way that we used to do this, which is what we had the laptop and everything that we had. So while he's doing that, let's cover other things, shall we? Because everybody can hear me fine. Everybody can hear me okay. All right, let's do this just for the moment. Okay. Welcome to the Funkatopia radio show. This is really bad radio. We just did like about 10 minutes of ridiculousness, and we'll work through it all and we'll figure it out ASAP. And some people say they can hear both of us fine, but on the radio, there's still something weird going on the radio side of things. So we'll figure all that out. It should be fine. You would think that everything's going to be okay, but for whatever reason. Ooh. Check. Okay, well, now all of a sudden I can get some pretty good audio. Rob, give me Rob, give me a test.
Hello.
Okay. Rob's really still gone into the ether, and so we're gonna figure it out. We'll figure it out. Welcome one and all. Funkatopia radio show. I'm your host, Mr. Christopher. I have a co-host, the one and only Rob Rhythm. He's normally on with me. I promise you next show, I'm not going to do it from this camera. I'm going to do it the way that we've been doing it, which has been doing it with the laptop, which doesn't have any issues whatsoever because everybody can hear everything. And it's not, and some people say they can hear us both, but for whatever reason, Rob, I can't hear you. So we'll figure this out. But let's do the news here while we try to, and maybe we'll play some music after we go through some of the news, and then we'll try to tinker around and see if we can figure some of this stuff out. Anyways. Yes. So, man, I tell you what, lots of stuff going on in the Prince world for sure. The biggest thing, obviously, tonight. Anyways, let me preface this by saying that tonight we will be doing a broadcast that we're going to be talking about the one and only bootleg topic. The bootleg topic is ridiculous. I didn't realize that it was still such a massive issue, but apparently it still is a problem. It still is. It's still a big problem, and I happened to go to a record store in Charlotte and I found a vinyl copy of Deliverance. and showcased it on Facebook, and everybody lost their friggin' mind. And I wasn't aware. It was really, really shocking that so many people were getting upset. It was just shocking to me that there were so many people that had an issue with the fact that I had a copy of this vinyl. Not that I had necessarily had a copy of the vinyl, but I was necessarily supporting bootleggers. So we're at this discussion again where we kind of want to bring this up and kind of talk more about it and kind of really get an understanding as to what this issue is. Why is everybody so friggin' tied up in knots and whatnot? And it's shocking to me. It really is. It blows my mind that this is still going on, even after his passing. And I realized that there was, it's a very, very, what's the word where there is a very, very big dividing line where there was people that were excited, were like, oh, sweet, man, this is really awesome. You got this Deliverance CD on vinyl. And there was other people that were like, you're going to hell. And so we're going to talk about that. And then, of course, so that's going to be the discussion for tonight. So we're going to start there. Then, but let's talk about the news first before we get to that. Let's kind of let this thing roll a little bit and just take it from there, because I want everybody to be happy, but that's not going to happen. So let's start off talking about news first. First off, as we had told you a few weeks ago, we said that we heard that this was coming, and it's coming. It's here already. Paisley Park is selling the Hits 1 on the website, and we said that was going to be coming. They're selling the Hits 1 on purple vinyl, which is actually pretty cool. And the thing about it is that it actually has like a ton of great hits. It's got When Doves Cry, Pop Life, Soft and Wet, I Feel For You, Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad, When You Were Mine, Uptown, Let's Go Crazy, 1999, I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man, Nothing Compares to You, Adore, Pink Cashmere, Alphabet Street, Sign of the Times, Thieves in the Temple, Diamonds and Pearls, and Seven. So it's pretty much like his huge hits. And it's 2 vinyl disc, and it's $44.98. So it's $45, and which is crazy to me. But it's 40. I guess it's not crazy. It's not like insane price, but $45 is it's $45 for the hits again. But they do actually have a lot of really cool stuff. So they have a lot of cool hats and a lot of cool apparel and whatnot. I will say, since I'm already speaking about hats and whatnot, that Funkatopia right here and now actually has brand new merch in the store. We have a bunch of really, really cool slouch hats now that are available. You need to get them because I literally have single digit inventory for some of these slouch hats. I have them in black. I have them in gray, light gray. I have them in lilac. Thank you, Mei-Ling. I have them in a variety of different colors, at even tan. So really, really cool slouch hats that are in stock. They're back in stock, but they're, some of them, I think I got like 5 of the black and like I only got a few of the tan. So if you want slouch hats, Funkatopia slouch hats, get them now because they keep selling out quick, and I can only get them in limited inventories for whatever reason. Maybe head to funkatopia.com and click on shop, and you can actually get them there. Also, the lilac hats are not, they're not the slouch hats. They're regular beanies, but they're like that thick vertical pattern that was really, really popular up north, especially when it's cold. But they're really, really cool hats, and the ladies love them. Those are in stock as well. So all that stuff is in stock. All right, so funkatopia.com and then click on shop. All right, so there's that. One of the things that the Paisley Park website does have at store.prince.com is they have the German Rolling Stone magazine, which is very, very cool. It's a Rolling Stone magazine for that talks about the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe, and it's also got a really, really cool stuff. But it also comes with a 7-inch vinyl that is actually attached on the front. So it's going to be very, very cool because it has Sign of the Times on one side, and then the other one is, and I had this written down, On the other side is Witness for the Prosecution, I think version 1. So, and it's only $20. So you actually get the Rolling Stone magazine that has Prince on the cover, which is a fantastic picture. I don't think I've ever seen that particular one before. Yes, it's in German, but you can actually use Google Translate, and you can actually hold Google Translate over the magazine and it will translate it for you. And you can read it just like normal. Just use Google Translate. If you really, that's a big hang up, but you get the German version of the Rolling Stone magazine with the 7-inch vinyl attached to the front. That alone, that 7-inch vinyl alone is worth $20, but you get the magazine for $20 and of course the 7-inch vinyl, which is awesome. It's only like a few bucks to ship, but I think they charge you something insane to get it before Christmas, like double the price. But you can actually get it. Hey, but for the Funkatopia hats and Funkatopia gear, that's all free. Free shipping, not the merchandise. The shipping is free. Free shipping. So whatever price you see, don't freak out. Now that's for inside the United States, obviously. For other countries and whatnot, a little bit different of a scenario. So, and also Paisley Park still has a storefront at the Mall of America. So for those in Minneapolis, you can still go to the Mall of America, and they have a storefront that's there that's actually selling all kinds of really cool stuff too, because they actually have like a First Avenue shirt that's tie-dyed. So they've got some really cool exclusive gear. And that's one of the things about going to the store at Paisley Park, or going to, like, I have a Third Eye Girl 2015 Hit and Run Tour shirt that I was actually able to get at Paisley Park, which you can't find anywhere. Or if you try to get it from a collector, it's like an insane amount of money. So it just doesn't even make any sense. It's just, it just is what it is. But I love going to the store because I always spend a crap ton of money. Like you see that Tamburaka back there. That's the Tamburaka is that yellow tambourine thing. It's got the Prince logo in the middle. They have two versions. There's one that has the Prince logo and one that has the older logo in the middle. And it's a very loud tambourine. It's plastic. It's like, it's really loud, but all that stuff is really cool. The Paisley Park mug that you see sitting there is also from Paisley Park. And so I always buy gear from Paisley Park. Always buy gear from Paisley Park. Every single time that there is an official release of something that I'm interested in, I always buy stuff. Always. Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. I already had Sign of the Times. 1999 Super Deluxe. I already had 1999. And chill, don't get upset, but I had a lot of those songs that were on the Super Deluxe version of 1999, but I bought it anyways because I plan to support the state. So that's another angle that we're going to be talking about here with the whole bootleg scenario. It's just insane. Lee says Paisley Park has $2.99 shipping option if you're not in a rush. Yes, I mean, if you're not in a rush, you can actually get it for $3 or whatever for shipping, which is not bad, because sometimes they actually will get things relatively quick. But if you really want it before Christmas, it's pretty improbable. However, in the Funkatopia store, if you order something tonight, I'm going to package it tonight, and I'll probably have it going to the post office tomorrow. So you have a really good shot at getting it before Christmas. And the only person that would possibly go bad would be the only possible issue would be with the post office. That's it. Because I've shipped stuff out tomorrow, free shipping. And again, these slouch hats are in limited inventory. They're just very, very cool. And I've got lots of cool stuff. Anyways, and as an extra added bonus, any orders that come in, I'm also going to put a Funkatopia stickers in there. That is a value that I normally charge for, but I'm taking care of you because I feel the need. So let's talk about the rest of the news. Let's talk about the well, for those of you just joining us, I do actually have some hats to show off. I mean, obviously I'm wearing one, but this is kind of, you can see pictures of them on the website at funkatopia.com. But this is the light gray one that's really, really cool. And this is the tan one that's really, really cool. Obviously, once again, bad radio. For those who are listening on the radio station, you're like, oh, yeah, that looks fantastic. So lots of great stuff, but you can see pictures of them on funkatopia.com/shop. A lot of people are asking the 20 best funk albums of 2020, the 20 best of 2020. I didn't even realize the 2020 angle until I said it out loud to my daughter yesterday. I was like, 2020, seems like I should do something with that marketing wise. I messed up. Anyways, the 20 albums are picked. Well, to put it this way, I'm still going through a couple hundred emails of submissions that may unseat some of those that are already in there, but I've already picked out the 20 best albums already. But there are some that have already gotten kicked off the list when I'm kind of going through these emails, and, because we get emails and submissions from all over the world, from people that maybe not on Spotify or whatever it is that they're not on. It's just, once I go through those emails and I kind of do a little bit more research and make sure this is the best, we will do we'll do a release. We'll do a release of that list, and it will probably be like that first week of January. We may actually do a show, not next Tuesday, because next Tuesday is Princemas, which I'll talk about just shortly. But the Tuesday after that, I may actually do a show that actually showcases those bands that I've picked that made it on the list. And that was going to be a lot of fun. And I hope that, it's just, do I have Julie wants to know, do I have the hat that I'm wearing in purple? No, I don't. It's been very, very difficult to find purple slouch hats. Slouch hats come in very, very distinctive patterns. They're like black or gray or dark gray or gray and black. There seem to be a lot of dark colors. I was actually surprised to find the tan one, but if I can find a purple slouch hat, I absolutely will buy one. And then I'll make sure that you guys can get there. So let's talk about a couple. Let's go ahead and finish talking about that. Princemas starts. Somebody asked, what time does Princemas start? Princemas actually starts Saturday, this Saturday coming up. That's right. Just 5 days from right now, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, now 4 days from right now at noon. Saturday at noon. We will be doing Princemas, and it will be a lot of fun. It's going to be live Prince concerts, one concert from every single year that he played. So we'll be from 1979 to 2016. So we'll be playing concerts, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you love Prince live, then you absolutely got to tune in. No, it will not be in chronological order, because if it was, it would be very, very monotonous, especially those first 5-6 years that he played. It was a lot of the same material repeatedly over and over and over again. And of course, so I want to make sure that we play an early one, and then maybe later on from the 90s, and then maybe into the 2010s. And then, I just want to mix it up enough where there's enough of a mixture, but we'll be playing one concert from every single year. I think we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm not exactly sure how the timing of this is going to work, but I think we want to kind of get through and do that, and then turn around and do it again with a 12-hour offset, so you can catch everything that you missed while you were sleeping, type of thing. Same thing we did with Prince-giving. But I don't know how the timing is going to work. I don't know if it will be perfected that way the second time around, but we are absolutely going to be. Mailing says it's sold out on the Prince site. What is sold out on the Prince site? Is it there's something sold out on the Prince site? Oh, the German magazine is sold out on the Prince site. That sucks. Sorry about that. I was promoting something that is sold out. Well, I'm glad I ordered one. When it gets in, I will make sure that I showcase it to you. I'm sorry. I did not realize it was sold out. That was my bad. My bad. Sorry. Thank you. Lucky says Prince-giving was awesome. Thank you so much. Beverly, hello. How are you? If you want to join us, watch the video and whatnot, you can absolutely watch the video on facebook.com/Funkatopia. You can also watch it like Lucky here on YouTube. We got a lot of YouTube folks that are there, and so there's a little bit of everything. So I'm glad everybody can hear me now. I really wanted to get Rob in the mix here. We may have to leave him out of the mix until we actually switch back to the normal broadcast. Because I just don't want to spend too much more time dealing with audio issues right now. And because I could already hear there was like a really big delay, like a 30-second delay from what I was saying to what he was hearing. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem. And then we also got to make sure that he can be heard. So I may have to, now we're going to be opening up the phone lines tonight. So believe it or not, just so we're clear, we're going to be opening up the phone lines. I want you guys to maintain a demeanor here, because we haven't opened up the phone lines in a long time. You can write down the phone number and get ready. The phone number is 2623-WE-FUNK. 2623-WE-FUNK. And the phone lines are not on right now. I have not switched the phone on, but when I do, I got to make sure that everybody is not losing their friggin' mind, because I know that this whole bootleg discussion is kind of like a little bit of a heated discussion. Well, it depends. There's going to be some people who might call in that may make everything go haywire. I don't know. We're just going to have to play it by ear, and we're just going to have to play it by ear. That's all there is to it. So anyways, so there's that. Next up, what else do I have in the list before we get into this bootleg discussion? Oh yeah, tomorrow night, Jelly Bean Johnson. Everybody knows Jelly Bean Johnson, good friend of Funkatopia. Jelly Bean Johnson is going to be celebrating the release of his first solo album called Get Experienced. For those of you who do not know, Jelly Bean Johnson has released I'm being very, very redundant here. He released his first solo album called Get Experience, and it has got all kinds of different people on the album. It features, Ronnie Baker Brooks and Monty Moore and Tamar and a bunch of others. And it's a live event that's going to be happening online. And it's going to be featuring interviews and live music and special guests and a preview of Jelly Bean's album. And you can actually order the album on a few different sites. I've found it on a few different sites. His website was down today for whatever reason. I don't know what was going on, but his website was down. And so that kind of sucked a little bit. But it starts tomorrow, Wednesday night, tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So about the same time as this show, but tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you're on the West Coast, it's 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. So 8:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the afternoon. And it's pretty cool. And if you want to hear what Jelly Bean has been up to, you can put some jelly on it and go to the show. It's pretty awesome. Also, Susanna Melvoin has a bunch of holiday gifts on her website, starfishandcoffeeofficial.com. That's starfishandcoffeeofficial.com. And it's a lot of Starfish and Coffee merch. They've got everything from Christmas ornaments to shirts and sweatshirts. I actually have the sweatshirt that I love wearing, but it's been summer, so I haven't had an opportunity to wear it, but I love wearing it because it's very, very comfy. Jaden is making me buy a brand new one of hers because the one that I got her was too small. So that kind of sucks. Anyways, so I'm looking forward to that. And I guess she's doing some type of, I think there's free shipping on her website too, starfishandcoffeeofficial.com. So if you are a fan of the Starfish and Coffee song and anything of that, you can get the merch and it's going to be awesome. Again, starfishandcoffeeofficial.com. So Susanna had a bunch of stuff she wanted to let people know. And then lastly, on the news, is on January 1st through 3rd. I assume I'm going to be back on at least one time before now and the end of the year. But if I'm not, January 1st through the 3rd, Paisley Park and First Avenue and the Current in Minneapolis, obviously, because that's where all those people are housed, are going to be holding an event in Minneapolis called the Glow Holiday Festival. The Glow Holiday Festival, which is you basically get in your car and you drive through like a bunch of Christmas lights and whatnot, featuring a bunch of a playlist of Prince music. And they have like video clips that'll be playing at certain points during the drive. And of course, lots of purple lights. And of course, this is January 1st through 3rd. So you might, you're probably a week away from the Christmas mode, but they decided that January 1st through the 3rd, which is the last 3 days of this event that they're doing, this Glow Holiday thing, they're going to turn it into a Prince event. But not until January 1st through 3rd. So if you want more information on that, you can go to glowholiday.com, GLOW holiday.com/Prince. And all the tickets there, I guess, benefit Northside Achievement Zone, Art Buddies, and Instruments in the Cloud, which are pretty much, getting instruments for kids and doing a lot of musical education type of promotions and support. So you want more information, glowholiday.com/Prince. And again, coming up this Saturday at noon, Princemas starts, where we actually go into these live concerts, where we're going to be doing live concerts from Prince. And so it's going to be all that. So going to be a lot of fun. Nikki just joined. She said, I'm late again. What did I miss? You missed nothing. You're good. You're good. You're good. Yes, you're all good. Everybody's here. All right, here we go. I'm going to play a song. And then we're going to maybe see if we can get Rob Rhythm back into the mix. I don't know if we can or not. We'll give it one more shot while this music is playing. I don't know how official it will be. But let me try to pick a song. I know what we'll play. We'll play a song called Strange But True. Do you recognize that song? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Is it going to cause a problem? I guess we're going to find out. Here it is, Strange But True. And you may actually hear us over this song, just so we're clear, because we want to make sure that we can kind of do audio. So we may leave this audio portion on. So if you're listening via the radio, you'll probably hear us chatter and talk. But at least you have music in the background. Here it is, Strange But True. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about Bootlegs, the debate, and just kind of taking it from there. So enjoy. And then when we come back, here it goes. And we're going to be opening up the phone lines too. So good Lord, save us all. Here we go.
Okay, let me say this quick before I start to cry. You're the only one that I get.
All right, let me see here, Rob. Oh, no, Rob jumped ship.
What I should have known. This whole I'm trying to feel with another.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's grown, and I got your package. But when I tried to write you back, I bailed. See, trying to express the future, sometimes language fails. And over this time, I've learned.
All right, so, and again, I'm going to have to sit here and talk of the music because if I don't, then it's going to be ridiculous. Because they're gonna start. Well, actually, they won't disconnect because they don't know this song. So I think we're okay. And of course, the second I'm going to try to get Rob on the line, he jumps. Yes, I know, Sherry. You can hear me over the music. Let me take myself out of the mix here on this one. Hold on.
Dreams of sovereignty. They tried to come between you and me. A curse therein set forth a chain of events that only free me. I remember where I was and who I am. The only prince that will ever rule this holy land.
Check.
All understand and all stand under this affirmation now. By the power invested in me by God, negativity bows. Strange but true. Let's see what you can do.
All right, Rob, you there?
And I'm hearing weird sounds.
Well, I can hear you now, Rob.
You can hear me, but I cannot hear you at all. What's that link that you sent me so I could watch the show at the same time? I'm wondering if that's what the problem is. You sent it to me last week, I thought.
Well, if you just go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Funkatopia.
And I can't hear you, by the way. So whatever you're saying, I can't hear you.
I'll text you on the phone.
You could type it to me, couldn't you?
Strange but true. Let's see what you can do.
You want me? Oh, you're texting me.
Strange but true.
Hey! I turned my phone off because I thought that was one of the problems.
All negativity bows.
My phone was connected Bluetooth at the same time that my computer was, so it's weird because I can kind of like hear these really little dinging sounds. I'm not sure how I feel about the new hats. I kind of like them.
Strange but true. All negativity bows.
But you're right. The colors on the screen. Some weird sound just came up.
All right. This is kind of good because they don't know what the song is, so they're not going to be able to figure it out. This is all good. Yeah, I can play music that they don't see, that they don't know. This song is not in Facebook's algorithm, so we're okay.
Strange but true.
And that was, I got to turn this down. And that was, hope everybody's not going to hear any echo on this. It is the one, the only. Let's see if I can mute this real quick and see if it actually lets me. Yeah, it actually does. Okay, great. That was Strange but True. So now we're going to get into this discussion of bootlegs. And let's just talk a little bit about bootlegs and how it's, oh my God. All right, so we've actually had this discussion before. Matter of fact, on years ago, I had a discussion with, Prince was going off the deep end. Well, not going off the deep end, but he was. Let's talk about the difference between Facebook and copyrights and things like that, because I don't want to merge conversations here where we're talking about. Hold on. So you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to start the. I forgot to start the phone line. Hold on a second. Let me start the phone line here real quick too, and make sure that we actually, start show as host. Okay. All right. So basically, what it is that years ago he had went through this phase, and he actually upset quite a bit of. Fans, because fans were trying to support him, and fans were actually going through the process of sorry, I got to dial in here. Fans were going through the process of recording their kids dancing in a kitchen. I think there was it all really kind of sparked from this one lady that recorded her son dancing in the kitchen to Prince's music, and Prince shut the video down. It wasn't like the whole song. It was only like a portion of the song. It didn't have anything to do with anything. And it was just shocking because people were like, what is going on? Why would he even do that? And then it became worse because there was like something going on algorithm wise that YouTube was catching everything that had any Prince music in it at all. And so Prince just started sending out mass cease and desist orders. I even received one of those cease and desist orders, and I was so excited. I said, yes, I have finally arrived. I'm here. I've made it. I am just, I'm excited. Yay. I'm excited. I've got a cease and desist letter from Prince. And then let me turn on this thing here real quick. Hold on just a minute. Let me, can you hear that?
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call.
Oh wait, I'm gonna.
Please enter your show number.
We're gonna do this.
Pound.
I'm gonna do it. Oh boy.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna enter the 6-digit PIN number, which means once I do this, the show is the phone lines are on.
That was an invalid PIN for WFUNK. Please re-enter your 6-digit PIN.
You're right. It was. Hold on.
Reached the wrong show. Hang up and.
All right. So.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and
all right.
can manage your
callers
from the Call-In Studio web interface.
Okay. All right. Shut up.
Show recording is on.
Okay. All right. I don't know if you could actually hear her talking, but anyway, so the phone lines are on. Let's just go ahead and be clear. I'm letting you guys know that the phone lines are on, and this includes Rob Rhythm if he wants to call in. If Rob wants to call in on the phone line, he can actually do that. We can actually get him on the line audio wise, and we should be able to just at least do it that way. You won't be on the video, but he'll be on audio. The phone number is 2623-WE-FUNK. Again, it's 2623-WE-FUNK if you want to call into the show and have a discussion about bootlegs. We're going to do that. Anyways, so what ended up happening was that we went to, I went online and I reached out to Prince and I said, I really kind of want to get a little bit more of what's going on. And I was talking a little bit about bootlegs, and I was talking about a variety of different things that were just kind of unnerving, not just to fans, but also to, I guess it was just basically to everybody. And it was like one of those scenarios where I just said, he's actually in the process of suing fans. And that maybe that verbiage and maybe what I said was a little bit rough, but I was just like, what is the difference between Prince suing fans and going after bootleggers who were doing things that are like going into his shows and recording his shows and doing all this stuff. And it was a very, very detailed post. As a matter of fact, if you go to Funkatopia.com and you search for bootleg, you'll be able to find that post that I did. And it was a very, very direct, and I asked him directly on Twitter. I said, are you after fans who are actually downloading some of your music, maybe some of the unreleased music, or are you after fans who are letting their friends, or like our radio station? Are you upset that we are playing some music that people have not heard before? Are you upset about that? Where is the line is basically what I asked Prince. I said, where is the line? Is the line me as a Funkatopia website, playing because he knew about the radio station. He listened to it. He heard Prince giving for good. I mean, that was shocking. And I was just asking the question, what is it? And Prince tweeted back, and he tweeted, and I'll put it up for the, I don't know if you guys can even see it, but he said on the Third Eye Gorilla account, he said, fans share, not sell. And then he linked to the article that I did, and he says, they don't get sued, bootleggers do, is what he said. And that is the tweet that Prince tweeted back, and he linked to the Funkatopia site. And so there was the answer directly from Prince. He was okay with people hearing it, even if he didn't ordain it or whatever. He's like, that's one thing. It's like not something that I've had out. I would like to be able to officially release it and get it out there. But, the problem I have is when you take it from me and then you sell it and you make money for the work that I did. That's where I have the problem. And so there is, there was the line there. That was the line. And so it was very, very specific line too. So I didn't know exactly how to, process, where the line was, because also there's the acquisition of those songs too. And this is kind of where things got a little bit haywire, because back in the late 80s and 90s, I would go to this record store that was down street from where Rob and I lived, down in downtown Atlanta. And we would actually go into this record store that literally was walking distance from our house. And we were actually able to buy CDs that contain a bunch of music that we had never heard before. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's this music that maybe he just didn't want to, maybe Warner Brothers didn't want anything to do with it or wouldn't release it for him. And we already knew that there was a little bit of thing that he was creating music quicker than Warner Brothers could release release it for him. So maybe this was a secondary way. I didn't say we, I was not aware of the whole bootlegging process, that someone actually was able to somehow get a hold of some of this music and release it without his knowledge, or that concept to me was just, so, and I was actually I don't know why I picked up this one. Hey Rob, look what I found at the record store. I don't know if you can actually see this, but I was actually able to find the old Love and Rockets CD. You guys don't know about Love and Rockets. Don't even pretend like you know about Love and Rockets, but I saw this and I was like, oh shit, Love and Rockets. I don't know why I picked up that CD. Anyways, there are, so we would pick up CDs that we would find and see. And, for instance, like this one here, the 94 East Collection, Volume 2. Girl 6 songs by Prince. It was just like all this stuff, and it had all these songs that are on the back, and it's like you flip it over and it's like, oh, these are songs by Prince, and you flip it over and it's got all these songs that you've never seen before, and you're a Prince fan. You've bought everything that's ever been released, and you happen to go in a record store and you see one of these CDs and you pick it up and you go, oh snap, You Can Be My Teacher. I don't know that one. If We Don't, I don't know what that is. All these songs that you're seeing, Better Than You Think. Oh, what is that? All these songs that you're seeing, and you're like, I want to hear that. You're not in the mode of, oh my God, somebody has stolen this music from Prince, and now I'm going to go on this rage, and I'm going to go. You're not thinking about that. That's not in the mix. You're thinking, oh my God, there's new music from Prince. And you kind of look at the quality of this compared to the quality of the officially released stuff, and you realize there's something a little wonky, but it's music from Prince that I've never heard before. And you go and you run, and you and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and put on my glasses so that I can actually read a lot of these things here that are kind of going on here, because there's a lot of conversation that's going on in the actual chat room here in Facebook, facebook.com/Funkatopia. Stacy said social media makes money off of us and our posts and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, yeah. And there's so much, we had a little bit of discussion. We had a couple of people that were in that post that really had a heyday with me about the fact that I had went into a store and I happened to find Deliverance on vinyl, and I purchased it. And it went from a lot of people saying, oh my God, where can I get that? Where do I go? Where can I possibly get a copy of this? To other things where there were people who were really, really angry and ticked off that I had actually supported the bootleggers. This is, again, not a scenario where I'm thinking about, oh, I'm supporting the bootleggers. That's not where my mind is at. My mind is that there's music on here that I really want to hear. I really want to hear it in good quality. This looks pretty official. There are some things. I've managed to find some things that look really amazing and look really official and look fantastic. And then I go and I buy it and I get it and I hold it in my hand, and I am just like totally shocked at how fantastic that it is. At the quality and as far as like the packaging and everything. And then I stick in the CD and it is horrible. The recording is horrible. The audio is horrible. It's crackly. Everything is just a nightmare. And, there are scenarios that are like that. There are scenarios that are like that. And I just, you run the risk, especially when you find stuff that was not officially released. But I had a couple of other examples. Here was another 94 East. Now I meant to talk to Peppy Willie about some of this too. Here was another 94 East CD. That was another CD that had a lot of this stuff. So there was another one. What's this one? This was the Prince and Miles Davis CD. The Prince and Miles Davis CD. It's Miles from the Park. Paisley Park, New Year's Eve. This is the one that they officially released as part of the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. This is one that was officially released. And technically he's only on one song. Even when you watch the DVD, you realize he's only on one song. And you could find this stuff. And if you wanted to hear it, this is Prince and Miles Davis. You got to understand, this is, this started seeing the light of day. This started seeing the light of day in the late 80s. And it just started seeing the days in the light of day in the late 80s. And it was just there. And you saw this CD, you walked into a record store, you probably didn't even know that him and Miles Davis even played together at Paisley Park. You walk into a record store and you see this in the late 80s, Prince and Miles Davis, when Miles was even still with us. And you go, oh my God, are you serious right now? And you go and you pick it up because you want to hear Prince and Miles Davis. And it's not officially released. But you know what? Here's the other side of it too. It is officially released now. And guess what? I bought it. I already had it. But I'll anything that the estate plans to release, I will officially pick up. I will officially purchase it. I will do it. I absolutely will purchase it. Not everything. The hits, they just released the hits 1, 2 purple vinyl. I don't care. I've heard those songs a gazillion times. I have the hits already on CD. I don't need it on purple vinyl. Vinyl agitates me anyways. I love it. I love the sound quality of it. However, what agitates me about vinyl is that for 30 minutes, I then have to get up and I have to flip it. That's annoying to me. It's so annoying to me. So I just not a huge fan of the whole vinyl process. So, but I get it because the fact that it is collectible. There was no way I was going to get Sign of the Times Super Deluxe on 100 vinyls or whatever that was. So anyway, so I showed you just a sampling of some of the CDs, and some of them I just happened to find online because, and if I happen to find somebody online that happens to, we got to talk about the process of bootlegs too, because then there's all this stuff you can see right behind me over here, all these books from Prince. Okay. Every single one of them are written by people that were in Prince's life at some point in time, or that knew him for a short period of time or a long period of time, or whatever the case may be. And when you buy those books, Prince doesn't get any money out of that. And the book is about his life. It's about him. It's all about him. Some of the stories may be true. Some of the stories might not be true. Some of it might be a crock. But you go out and you buy it, and the person that writes it gets the money. And of course, the cut goes to publisher and everything else. But what is the difference between this and, granted, it's Prince's work when you're talking about bootlegs and you're talking about music. But this is the documentation of his life, just told in different views, from different views, different angles and whatnot. And Prince doesn't see any of that money either. And, so there's that. So what are you going to do? How are you going to, exactly what do you do as far as, where is the line? And as I mentioned, if I see something like this and I'm interested in it, I'm going to pick it up because I want to hear it. And guess what? Here's another thing. If the estate or Paisley Park officially releases it, I'm going to buy it again because I want the official version. I want the official version. I want the ordained version. If it exists, I want it. I'm going to support it. I'm not going to just say, oh, well, I've already got it, so I'm not going to buy it. That's not how it works. Of course, I'm going to support the estate. But when I see this stuff, it's just, it's part of, It's just part of the process, you know? So what ends up happening, which is really strange. Again, I opened up the phone line. So if you guys want to call in, absolutely do that. It's 2623 We Funk. Again, 2623 We Funk. If you are alphabetically challenged, it is 2623. I'm sorry, 262 393 3865. Again, I'll do that number again. 262 393 3865. But if you do actually have numbers on your phone or whatever, it's 2623 We Funk. If you want to call in and be part of this discussion. All right. So let's talk about what happened to me just recently, which was kind of weird. We visited some family on my wife's side up in it's technically South Carolina, but they were right on the border of North Carolina, and he wanted to go to this record store because he was picking up. He was I don't know what's going on. Anyways, how am I putting stuff up? Rob, are you doing this? What's happening here? Anyways, so Rob is creating all kinds of horrendous posts now on my behalf on the chat channel. So anyways, there's that. So we go to the record store. And basically what happens is I end up finding some great collections, stuff from my collection, because I love collecting things. But before I go down that rabbit hole, I do want to cover one more thing, because I was doing this vinyl thing for a while now. These are some of the ones that I happened to find, and I found some really, really great albums. I actually happened to find, which is something I didn't have on vinyl. I actually found Stevie Wonder's Music of the Mind. I actually found this on vinyl, which is pretty amazing. And it's pretty amazing. I was able to find Music of the Mind for just $4 on vinyl, which is awesome. I love it. And it's great. Then here are some other vinyl things that I've had for decades. Decades. Some people had the NPG. There was a bootlegger who released on vinyl the NPG radio show side 4, side 3, which is actually not even that. It's like this random vinyl that is just I didn't even know what was on this vinyl when I got it. Didn't even know what was on this vinyl. And it was just crazy, the amount of stuff that was here. It didn't make any sense. So there was that. And I had a lot of them. That was 3 and 4. That was side 2 and side 1. And then I got it, and it was just clips from live concert performances. Then, of course, the absolute piece de resistance, which I've shown people before and people lost their friggin' mind, was the box set, the Vinyl Royal Jewels collection. Everybody seen this one? A collection of His Majesty, his finest studio sessions. And it is total garbage. It really is. Because everybody loses their mind about this one, but there's so many things that are misspelled. Like you can see right there. I can't really point it, but it says right there, it says Export Lover instead of Expert Lover, which was not even really the name of the song. It's got it's got a bunch of misspellings. And instead of fill you up, it's let me feel you up, and you is spelled. It's like the whole thing is just a crash and burn, horrible bootleg. And it is, it's insane. And, all right, Rob, if you're really doing the Funkatopia thing, I'm going to strangle you for fucking real. Stop. Because I'm looking like an idiot. Anyways, on here, and it's not even me talking. So, anyways, knucklehead. So there's this, and in it, there's okay. Oh, here was a good one. Now you see some of these bootlegs, and you go, oh, that looks good. Look at this. Look at this one. This one, the person actually spent time to decorate the label. It was Prince's Chocolate Box album, and they actually took the album and with marker and whatnot, just drew on this thing. I mean, it was pretty good artwork. I mean, when you look at some of the Paisley stuff they did, but like all the ink is smeared and whatnot. And yes, I know, Mailing, he wants me to let him in, but until I can figure out the audio on him, I don't want to waste a bunch of time going check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And blah, blah, blah. So we got to figure out a break point where I can actually get him in and actually test it. So I'm just kind of talking through this for a moment, and we're going to take a break here in like 2 minutes, and we'll try it one more time. But we'll see what he says. But anyway, so then there's side one, which is less smeared. And for Chocolate Box, she actually drew a box of Hershey's. It's crazy. It's nuts. But anyways, on the Royal Jewels one, for the label itself is, the label is made by a company called Black Hole Records, I guess. And this is kind of what the labels look like. It says Black Hole Records, and it's just this weird, well, you can't really see because of the lighting or whatever, but trying to find an angle. Yeah. So that's kind of like the crappy label. It's a lot of things. And of course they also had some more concert stuff here that was just, you don't even see what's on it. It just has numbers, 3, 2, whatever. So they have all these things. And this is all stuff that I have acquired over the years. I go into a record store, I see it, it's interesting, it intrigues me. It's like you're kind of in this weird mode, trying to get everything working. And now you got me all talking. I'm like all shifted now. Anyway, so you pick up these things and you go into a record store, you see these albums and you see these tapes and you see these CDs and you go, oh, I'm going to take a chance. It's $20 and I may actually hear something that I actually am intrigued to hear. And so you take the chance. You take the chance on the $20 and you just get it. Yeah, so William Daniels over here saying his Royal Box label is yellow. So there you go. And then sometimes you get it home and it sounds like garbage. And then sometimes it's good quality, but everything else about it is garbage. But you know what? Once again, we're at the point where you get to this mode where you want to take the risk because and you're weighing the risk. You're weighing, all right, there are 20 songs on this album that I've never heard before, and about more than half of them are songs titled that I've never seen before or never heard before. So what exact do I need? Okay. You're debating and you get it. And sometimes you get it and it's great. Sometimes you get it and it's bad. It's horrible. So there is a collector part in all of us that are Prince fans, because let's just go ahead and be honest. The people that are buying this stuff, like me and some of you, are artists and stuff that we want to hear everything. These are not casual fans. These are not casual people that are, who you say, name a Prince song and they go, Purple Rain. These are not these people. The people that are buying this stuff are the hardcore fans. We've heard it. We've got it from somewhere. It'd be nice to have a physical copy of it. And if it ever gets officially released by the estate or Paisley Park, even when he was with us, we absolutely would get it, because then we would but we still want to hear it. It's just that nature of God. It's just that collector nature. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to try to bring Rob Rhythm back while we're taking a break. We're going to play another song and see if we can get some audio working. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about my trip to Charlotte, what I found in Charlotte, and some of the stuff surrounding deliverance. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a devil's advocate mode. And the devil's advocate mode is going to be the mode where we talk about, are you supporting the bootleggers? Are you actually, just by the act of buying this album or buying whatever it is, are you actually moving people to, or are you actually making these bootleggers millionaires or whatever? It's obviously not happening. But we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the other side of it. And we're going to be talking about the Deliverance album that I happened to find. And we're going to if you want to see it, then absolutely go to Facebook, facebook.com/Funkatopia, and you'll be actually able to see it because I'm going to hold it up and I'm going to show you what it looks like, just like I have been with all this other stuff that I've been talking about, which obviously I realize that on audio, some of this is bad audio because I was actually describing things that you couldn't see. But if you're on facebook.com/Funkatopia or on YouTube, you can actually see a lot of this stuff. So we're going to be talking about my finds in Charlotte, North Carolina, and playing a little bit of devil's advocate. Meanwhile, let me just test something here. I'm going to bring Rob. I hope you're ready.
I'm on, man. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
You cannot?
I can't hear you.
You've got to be kidding me. I just fixed the darn thing.
So Rob said that I could hear him.
And then you do something weird, and I guess now you can hear me, but I can't hear you. That's insanity, man. All right, I guess I'll just call in. This is a pain in the butt. Why did it work last time and not this time? Wow, they can hear me. Chris, did you see that on Facebook? It says they can hear me. You can't hear me. You're not listening to me, man. You're listening to me, but you're not hearing me. You did something weird with your audio. All right, fine. Yeah, see, everybody can hear me, man. Check it. Now they can't hear you.
No, I'm off the radio. Now I'm back on the radio. Okay, so I'm back on. I was trying to make some adjustments. Sorry about that. We're going to play a song called which if you guys remember, it was a Pepsi commercial that he gave to Ray Charles, who then turned it into the Pepsi commercial. You got the right one, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, Prince actually wrote that. And here is the original of what this sounds like. And then we'll see what happens with stuff. When we get back, we're going to continue our discussions about bootlegs. Here we go. Check.
So I can hear you now. I don't know why you can't hear me. Everybody else can hear me too, which is really weird.
You hold it.
I hear you now.
And they're saying they can hear us too.
Well, that's good.
Everybody knows it is.
Yep, I can hear you
right
now.
one, baby.
Now everybody can hear us.
Yep, they got the right ones.
Ain't no way to
That's
fight.
awesome. So there you go. You actually fixed it somehow.
I know. I told you like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, but you were being annoying as shit. So
I know, that was my point.
now everybody can actually hear us and the music. So
All right, I guess we should shut up then.
yeah, we're not going to play all 6 minutes of this, just so we're clear. And we realize that you people on the radio are actually hearing us over this. So we'll let the first play and then into the chorus, and then we'll come back. All right. I'm so glad everybody can hear us. It's great.
I feel good too, man. I'm glad you put the specs on too.
I'm going to mute everybody for a second.
About heaven and hell.
There you go.
Brother, if you
Yeah, I
don't
know.
believe in change or evil, baby, you ain't gonna come, there won't be nowhere to run. Nobody to tell you. You got the right one, baby.
All right, let's see if this actually. You still there, Rob?
I'm here.
Okay, so. All right, so I'm actually going to stop that and actually kind
Now
of.
they lost everything.
Well, no, I can still hear you, and I think
okay.
I can
Well, we
still
can
hear.
just have a conversation.
Give me a little more test.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So that's
Awesome.
good. Yeah, so that's all good. A little bit of a buzz, a little bit weird, but that's okay because I can hear you. That's fine. Yes, that was
All
a
right.
little bit of the song, and now we actually have Rob with it.
They say don't mess with it anymore, man.
Yeah, it's all back. We're not gonna touch it anymore. We can hear, everybody can hear both of us. We are on, and it's as I mentioned, we kind of get this weird thing that we've been doing on. Obviously, what I wanted to do was that before I was doing recordings on a laptop and then patching it over to this system, but it was having these two systems that was really causing a lot of craziness for me, and also on top of that, once I got done with the broadcast, what I would then have to do is download the entire broadcast on the laptop, then set it up online, and then download it on. It was just a nightmare. It was just, the whole thing was just a cluster of blank. But anyway, so for those of you who just joined,
man.
we are talking about bootlegs and the fact that, I don't really realize, I mean, even into my 20s, I don't think that I was really, I know that the term bootleg was actually being used and everybody was saying the words bootleg. It's bootleg. But I wasn't thinking of, that it was doing damage to anybody or hurting anybody. I did realize that I obviously realized that there was some issue with the fact that there were Prince probably wasn't making money on, but there was also this talk that Prince may have been actually at the helm and was actually at the was actually releasing this stuff because of the fact that he, couldn't get it released by Warner Brothers and maybe he wanted people to hear it. And so he was kind of leaking out this music. So you never really knew what was true and what was not true. And for me anyways, and I wasn't really thinking, oh, well, somebody stole it from, a recording set. Now, sometimes it was pretty obvious to tell that when you played a song that if the recording was really, really shitty, that you would know at that point, that this obviously was acquired in a way that was not the norm. This was not a soundboard recording, because I always got like varying levels of bootleg stuff whenever we purchased it. Because remember, we lived in the apartment complex off of Cheshire Bridge Road.
Yep, I remember that.
And
Vaguely.
this was in the 80s, and we were, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, yes.
We would walk down to the record store that was in that little shopping center there, and at that
that one.
And they had this, they would have various bootlegs and stuff that were in, and we never really got anything with really, really good quality until that it was in the 90s when they actually did the the one where he had, it was a live concert, and it was the one that actually had it was a live one, and it was obviously a soundboard recording because it was like one of the most amazing recordings that we had gotten for a bootleg. But so let's play devil's advocate here, because as you probably heard me mention about this whole book scenario, people write books about Prince. Like the whole book is about Prince. Like, for instance, there's one right here. I mean, let's talk about the reality of it. There's a book right here by Matt Thorne, and it's a great book about Prince. The man and his
review on the radio, it looks just like a book.
You see, if you're on the radio, it looks like a book, and it says Prince. It's called The Man and His Music, and it is it's a book by Matt Thorne, and it's been re-released. It's got a second version of it. That's out there. But Prince is not seeing any money from this book. But the whole book is designed to document his life, document the things that he did, document the things that he said. And some of it might be true, some of it might not be true. Some of it came from out of the mouths of people that he worked with that, you would see, but the point of that is that here is somebody who has acquired something that was not there. In this case, his life, has documented it in a book and is selling it and making money off of his life story. And now, granted, he wanted to actually do it himself, but he passed away before he got an opportunity to finish that. However, this is his life story, and this guy is making money off of this book, and we don't think anything about it. We just think, whatever. And in the same note, with a bootleg, it is somebody taking something that is not theirs. And I realize that this is a little bit of a stretch. I realize this. It is, but it is the same type of concept. You're taking something that's not necessarily yours, and you're not, for us, I don't feel bad or conflicted when I purchase a bootleg. But do you feel bad or conflicted? Do you feel like, oh no, like, so if Prince were to come over to my house, I probably would hide them. I'd probably go, no, I don't have any of that. But that's not what's happening here.
I think it's difficult because, I don't think it's the same thing. I mean, there's a thing that happens in publishing where when a book is sent out to be a promo and they want the people in the stores to read it, they used to tear off the front cover. And then a lot of used bookstores would then still resell that. They were promo copies and they weren't supposed to do that. But, I guess if you had a book and you completely copied every single page and then sold it, that's really more like what a bootleg is. But I guess for me, the challenge that I have is just like you said, we were such huge fans and still are. And when there was a period where we knew the Black Album was out there, but we couldn't hear it. We hadn't heard it. We couldn't find it. It wasn't released.
Same thing with Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal Ball too. And we were excited. So any opportunity we had to find those recordings we were such big fans that it was too much to expect us not to want to hear it. Now, it does irritate me that people took advantage of that, made crappy recordings for us to, that were all we had to get. That was our only choice at the time.
Yeah, so there's two users in that. There's the people that acquired that bootleg and got a shitty recording of that bootleg. And then, of course, Prince himself, which, so there's two people that are actually getting hosed in that scenario. And that's the chance you take whenever you get something from a market like this. Yeah, but I agree in that thing. And there's a lot of feedback about my book comparison here. Elisa's saying it's not the same thing. But she also
agrees.
Well, and there's also Mei Ling Stonepool, who Little Red Corvette. She's actually writing a book about her family's history too. In Minneapolis, her relationship with Prince, and there's going to be a bunch of things that are in that book. It's not all focused on Prince. A majority of it has nothing to do with Prince, but she's also in that whole writing process, and she's obviously saying that it's just, it's once you actually write it, it's kind of ends up being your IP. But
there's also something to be said for the fact that when you're in a position like that, part of what you make money off of, and again, I'm not a big fan of the fact that people that shouldn't have made money off of made money, but there's also kind of a part of it where you're kind of building a fan base, and at some point, when you're as big as Prince is, you don't need to really do that anymore. But some artists, that's kind of how they get their fan base. I can remember, in the 80s, and I think it's definitely more, it's become something totally different now. But in the 80s, I would have a friend of mine who would buy a new disc or whatever, and they were like, "This is really great. You ought to listen to it." And I was like, "Man, I can't afford that. I just don't have the money or whatever. And they're like, well, I'll make a recording of it. They put it on a cassette tape and give it to me. And next thing you know, I'm a huge, I don't know, fan of whatever band it was, of Nick Kershaw, whoever the hell it was. It's like, oh, holy crap, I'd never heard of Cameo before. And now they made a copy of this. And then as soon as I had the money, I went out and I bought it for myself. Now I know there's a lot of people out there who, don't do that. And especially now that it's all digital, one of the reasons I did it was because I got a better copy of it. I got a better recording of it when I bought it, myself. But yeah, when, now if it's all digital, it's totally different. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I think you're right. I think true fans like us are like, yeah, we want that. And I think we all end up giving the money to the artist at some point. But I do think the artist is kind of, is getting the short end of the stick. And in some cases, I don't know, maybe that's the artist, not taking the opportunity to put the music out there. That's probably an unpopular position, but
So let's talk about what where we ended up. Let's talk about where we ended up going here with this, because I
whatever you did, just drop me.
No, you're still here. I can still hear you. We didn't do anything. We can still hear you. All right. I can still hear him. And can everybody else still hear Rob? I think everybody else can still hear Rob also. Everybody let me know. Hopefully everybody else can still hear Rob. But I can still hear him. And he's kind of quiet right now. He's not talking, but because they're here. Yes, everybody said they can still hear you, Rob. So let's talk about my visit to the record store at the record store in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was a record store. I'll just go ahead and divulge the name of the record store. The name of the record store. There you go. The name of the record store was in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was called Lunchbox Records. Was only going there for the friend. Everybody, was going there with a friend, and everything was fine. I had no intention to even buy anything. He was there. He was trying to find, I can't remember what he was trying to find, like that album from the Ghetto Boys, the one where he's got his eye shot out. I can't remember the name of that album.
Was this in Jersey or is this in Atlanta?
No, this is in North Carolina. I went to
North Carolina. Oh,
yeah. So anyways, he was trying to find the Ghetto Boys, and it was trying to find some other things because he's got a friend of his who is a rapper who's actually got a studio in North Carolina, a rapper by the name of Devin Childs. And Devin is setting up his studio, and he's wanting to put up all these rap albums and stuff. So he was trying to find, just various things for him. And I probably just blew his Christmas surprise. But anyways, he wasn't able to find that. So you're not getting that. So anyway, so I go into I was like, he's looking for his thing. And I said, well, I'm just going to go around. I'm just going to look for whatever. And yes, it's called Lunchbox Records, and they actually do have a website. So you can actually get some of this stuff on their website. So I hope I'm not considered supporting the bootleggers. But so anyways, I found a copy of Morris Day's Daydreaming, sealed. Still sealed. It's an original Morris Day Daydreaming, and it's still in the plastic. This is a plastic sleeve around it, but it's still sealed. I was like, oh, sweet, dope. I'll pick this up. It was only a few bucks. I'll buy that. Great. I kept looking, and then I find a promotional copy. See, it says promotional copy, not for sale. Shouldn't have bought it. Shouldn't have been able to buy it. It's promotional copy, and it says not for sale, but it was Vanity's Pretty Mess, and then on the other side it has Mechanical Emotion. So another very cool. Oh, she's upside down. Another cool promotional copy thing, sealed. Very cool. It was only $7, and of course, it was really cool vinyl. So I'm doing pretty well. So I kept looking. And then, of course, I found, as I mentioned before, I found Stevie Wonder's Music of the Mind. So I found that. And then I find Sheila E.'s album. And this is one that for some reason I don't have on vinyl. So I went ahead and purchased it on vinyl because I like Sheila E. I've always liked Sheila E. And one of my favorite songs, Wednesday Like a River and Cuckoo is on here, and Honeyman and Love on a Blue Train. This is an amazing friggin' album. This is
It is a good album. Yeah.
This is a really, really freaking great album. And so I saw this. And then, lo and behold, the album that broke the internet. G'day. I look over and I see Deliverance by Prince. Deliverance. Now, for those who are not familiar with Deliverance, let me yes, Elena says Mr. Christopher got a haul. Yes. For those of you who are not familiar with Deliverance, let me give you a little bit of a background of Deliverance. Deliverance was a project that Prince and a gentleman by the name of Ian Boxhill were working on. They were trying to make what was referred to as a man opera. And I don't even know what that is. I guess it's an opera that men would want to go to or whatever it was. So
men are in operas, so I don't know what the hell that is either.
Men would want to go to pay money
okay, all right, gotcha.
Witness and watch. Prince was always obsessed with the whole musical thing and kind of doing, setting up these plays and, weird, like he did with the Glam Slam clubs and stuff like that. So he was always doing that weird stuff. But he was working with Ian Boxhill, and Ian Boxhill is an engineer, and he was actively involved in Prince's life, not just as an engineer. He engineered 3121. He was the engineer on Planet Earth. He was the engineer on Rhonda Smith's RS2. He was the engineer on what else was he on? Bria Valente's Elixir. So he was the engineer for a lot of material and for a long period of time with Prince. Him and Prince had a very, very personal relationship. He actually went and worshiped with Prince, even though he wasn't even a Jehovah's Witness. He went and did the door-to-door thing with Prince. I would probably do that too, just to see the reaction on people's faces. It's like, oh no, I'm going. I got to see this. But so all this stuff was going on, and he was very, very much considered Prince a very, very close friend, and they were very, very close. Anyways, so fast forward to 1 year after Prince's passing, and there are a bunch of songs that were recorded for this Deliverance thing. And here is the songs. It's Deliverance, I Am, Touch Me, Sunrise, Sunset, No One, and then an extended version of the song I Am. And that's all that's on this vinyl. And he was trying to find some type of record company to sell this to. And so he went to this group called the Rogue Music Alliance. And Rogue Music Alliance was they weren't known for, I guess, what we would call secular music. They weren't known for that. They were known for a lot of Christian artists. They had mostly Christian artists. And because of the fact that this particular collection of songs was really kind of designed to be more spiritual leaning, I guess, they decided that it would be okay. And of course, they were listening to Ian's story, and they were talking about, their spiritual journey together and all that. So it was just one of those things where he just spent a lot of time. So he, instead of going to the big artists, the big labels, he went to the smaller label called Rogue Music Alliance and, told them the whole story. And he even signed it in the contract, even signed it in the agreement that if they release this album, that a majority of the money would go to the family and the estate. That was in the contract. It was in the contract. But a lot of people say that's crap, bull poop. That wasn't there. Rolling Stone did a big article on it, and they saw the contract. They saw that it was in there. But you can't tell anybody any different. No, he wasn't going to give it. That's a bunch of crap. He wasn't going to give anybody. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Neither here that I haven't seen the contract, so maybe you're right. But the Rolling Stone writers did manage to see the contract, and they did say that it was in there, that a majority of the money was going just to help to support the family. And once they decided at that point who was going to be the recipient of this money, the estate stuff. Anyways, so he releases a single off of this, which is the title track of this called Deliverance. He releases the track. And of course, the estate's like, wait, what's going on? Because it's being presented as this is a new album by Prince. And so the estate is already kind of like in a little bit of a freak out zone. And so he's selling this album online, not people pre-selling it. And people are paying money. Lots of people paid money. And then, of course, before it gets released, I can't remember the exact day, but it's like 2 days before it was released, it got nixed. And Paisley Park was able to, or the estate was able to basically put the squash on the release of this album, Deliverance. And just said, you don't have the rights to this. Not only do you not have the rights to this, but you need to give every single bit of the recordings that you have and give them to us. And that's that. And so he didn't even put much of a fight, probably because he didn't have the money to fight the estate, but he didn't even put much of a fight. He gave them the recordings and he was like, all right, well, that's that. Meanwhile, Rogue Music Alliance had already recorded a crap ton of CDs, had already pressed a bunch of CDs. And apparently, yes, Ronlin said he sold the single first. Yes, he did. They did sell the single. And of course, all the money had to be given back for all the pre-sales that happened. But now here we are many years later, and now these vinyls are starting to appear. And when I showed people this album, people lost their mind because a lot of people were like, oh my God, where'd you get that? And then there was a couple people, some more vocal than others, that were like, you're supporting bootleggers and I can't believe you would do that. Da, 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 da. And so their assumption is that this is a bootleg album of Deliverance. Somebody got the recordings of Deliverance and made an album out of it. And then went through the process of not only doing this, but also doing gold inlay on the cover and also making it clear vinyl on a bootleg. This is not a bootleg. And if you look, well, technically it is. And if you also look very, very closely at the label, I don't know if this is going to show up. If you look, it's probably not, because it's probably not going to want to focus in on this. But and if you're on radio, again, horrible radio. But if you look very, very closely, it's not going to want to focus on it.
It looks like something you can't read.
Yeah, it looks like something you can't read for those on the radio. It says copyright 2009 Rogue Music Alliance. So this is the company that had all those CDs and had all those albums. And I guess now at this point, this is the clearance. This is, we've got all this merchandise. This shit's never going to see the light of day. Let's just sell it off to these record stores and let's just see what happens. And there it is. That's what happened. They started popping up in some record stores. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this in a lot of record stores. I looked online. I started to see some of this stuff. And, there it is. It's Deliverance by Prince. But anyway, so the point of this is, do you consider this is another one of the scenarios where you go into a record store, you see something that you're interested in. Now, in all honesty, I have these songs. You got to understand when I'm doing this, a lot of people will just send me stuff. Like they'll send me MP3s in the email and go, it really, really sucks that Deliverance didn't get released. I was like, yeah, I know. Really wanted to hear those songs. Oh, you do? Here they are. And they just give them to me. So I'd already heard these songs. I have no need to actually buy this. I've heard it. But I am a little bit interested in hearing the actual vinyl version from the actual company that put it on vinyl. I was intrigued. I was $20 worth of intrigued. Okay. And ended up being a really cool purchase. But then here we go again. Am I supporting the bootleggers? Because again, there were some people that, so I said, Brian Davis is saying here that they're available on eBay. And so I did actually see a release for this, or somebody was selling it on eBay for $100. I didn't buy it for $100. If it was $100, I never would have touched it. It would have been like, yeah, this 6 songs. That's not. I would have done the math in my head, and it was just like, that's almost $20 a song. No, we're not doing that. So, anyways, where do you feel? I'm interested in getting your perception because, again, some of those people that were really, really vocal were very, very specific in saying to me, I'm supporting the bootleggers. I'm actually allowing them, but here I'm actually the third man down the process. There was Boxel, then there was this Rogue Music Alliance, and then they've already made it. Then they turned around and they sold it to the record store, and the record store is now selling it to me. So the damage is already done in my eyes. Not that it doesn't make it any for better or worse, but it's there. I'm interested in having it because as a collector, just like the Black Album was pulled off the shelves by Prince, but I can guarantee you, if I find an original version of Black Album sitting in a record store, I'm freaking buying it. I don't care whose feelings I hurt. I'm buying it. Just like anybody else that was freaking here. I
didn't know you had that. I didn't know you had that kind of money, man.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I would almost seriously consider breaking out the Amex if I found it in a record store to actually, to buy it, just for curiosity's sake, just to, Anyways, am I supporting the bootlegger? Technically, yes, no. What do you feel?
Anytime you're kind of in the downline, to some extent, you're supporting that person because that guy wouldn't be able to sell it to the record store. The record store wouldn't buy it unless there was a market for it. But again, I go back to, like you said, I don't know what I would do in that situation. Well, no, I do know what I would do in that situation. If I found the Black Album, one of the original Black Albums, I would probably find some way. I would probably call you up and say, we got to go in together, find a way to buy this. And here's my $30 and you can put in the other 1,500 or whatever. But it really sucks that there are people that will make money off of things, that they shouldn't make money off of. I mean, it's unfortunate. But I don't think, I think you're right. I think where Boxel is concerned, that sounds more like a misunderstanding, a contract issue. I mean, those kinds of things happen all the time in any industry. It doesn't matter whether it's the record industry or publishing or whatever. So, somebody's mentioning about the fact that the Prince YouTube page actually put it up. Pamela is, which, kind of makes you feel like it's almost in the category of, if they're saying it's okay to have it, then however you get it should be fine. I mean, I guess you could go to the YouTube channel and download it there and then have a recording of it, but yeah. I agree for people like you and me who want to have the physical item in our hand and want to hear, especially if it's on vinyl, we want to hear what it sounds like on vinyl. That's a totally different thing. So yeah, I find it's a tough situation to be in, and yeah, I don't know.
This isn't just, I know we're focused in here on Prince, and which is obvious because it's a it's a Prince fan group for the most part, even though it's not, but it is. This is not something new. Other people have been using this type of stuff for marketing purposes for forever. I mean, this was like the whole part of Grateful Dead's marketing plan. Was just like, please bootleg the friggin' shows. Please record it. Please sell it. Not necessarily sell it, but distribute it. Share it with all your friends. They weren't really too hip on, you buying it or you buying it from somebody who actually recorded it. They didn't really think that was fair, but they wanted you to record it and they wanted you to give it to somebody else. Same thing with Dave Matthews Band. Dave Matthews Band was like, absolutely. It says recording equipment okay. It's most concerts are like no recording equipment, no cameras, no video,
Right.
no this, that, and the other. And bands like Dave Matthews Band are like, oh, you got a lot of recording gear there. Well, come on in. Hopefully you bought
Some of the most,
Hopefully you bought
one of the most,
and it exploded. And that's how
Right.
you explode with that, with that type of.
Right.
Some people use it in a very, very strategic way. And I think when you fight it too much, and I think that was part of what, worked in Prince's favor, to kind of add to his mystique, is just like, there was all this material out here. He was obviously aware that all this material was out there and floating around and being shared and being distributed among all these other people. And one of the people I was talking with, I told you this earlier, was Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And, the Red Hot Chili Peppers also have this issue. You'd be surprised how many issues or how many, look at this Red Hot Chili Peppers shirt. Look at that. And with Flea, it was the same exact thing. It was like, there's all these bootlegs of concerts and things that they've done and just jam sessions that they've had after hours and what that just happened to get out and about and everywhere. And it's not just, it's not just a Prince thing. It's a lot. Some people were asking what the phone number is to call in. It's 2623-WE-FUNK. 2623-WE-FUNK. I'm going to go ahead and put in 262. I'm going to have to just write this number down here. 393-3865, I think is what it is. Yes, I think that's it there. But it's 2623-WE-FUNK. And if you want to call in to be part of this conversation. So, yeah, and I don't... some bands know how to use it, and I think Prince loved having that mystique because he knew that he had all this material that was, out there and available to people. And I just, I think he kind of wanted to add this weird, I don't know how to explain it. It kind of add this, bit of naughtiness to it. It's just like, no, don't download that. And you're like, oh, don't download that. Like, don't download this, click. So I think that, every band uses it in a different way. Everybody tries to, but in the case of Prince, there's a lot of weirdness. And I was just actually surprised that Deliverance caused so much kerfuffle. It's just so weird. It's just, I was shocked. So,
well, I don't even know what a kerfuffle is, but, I was, you were talking about the other bands out there, and I was thinking about bands like the Grateful Dead, who were still around, actually, crazily enough, for 50 years, and they allowed tape all the time. Now it's a different kind of thing; it's a different kind of issue. But there's another one of my favorite artists, as you and I know, is Bob Schneider, and he doesn't allow, excuse me. He records his shows at his shows. So any of his live shows, he records them there. And you go in at the very beginning of the show, you give them $10. And when you leave at the end of the night, they've made a CD copy of it. And you go home with a recording of your show for $10. Now, to me, I think that's brilliant. I mean, one of the great things about that artist is that the live shows are really interesting and exciting. They're different. They're always fun. So you get that whole thing, just like when you go and buy a T-shirt, but here you're taking the music home, and that's what all of us who love music want. That's the experience. That's the excitement.
I second guess myself on that word.
What? Kerfuffle? I can't even say that word.
Commotion or fuss, especially one caused by conflicting views. It was right.
Well, okay. Now I know what a kerfuffle is. All right. Good.
And here's what's scary is that in some weird way, my brain was holding on to that friggin' word for all these years. It's like, there's going to be some place.
This is the first time you've ever used it. You're like, I am going to use kerfuffle once. Back in the 8th grade, you were like, it was one of your words in like one day.
All right. We've actually got a call We've got a call coming in here. This is going to be weird because we didn't even test this whole call thing. So this may be a crash and friggin' burn.
I'll just type stuff.
Let's just figure it out. Let's see here. Welcome, one and all. You are on the Funkatopia radio show. Let's see if we can actually hear you. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Christopher.
Oh,
I can't hear Rob while I'm on hold, but
you can't.
I could hear you, but I couldn't hear him.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry.
can
I don't have anything important to say anyway.
yeah, that's right.
I'll try to turn him up a little without destroying.
Well, that sounds.
Yeah,
This
turn
sounds
me up.
that sounds like Mei Ling Stone Pool, aka Little Red Corvette, and I'm sure that she is going to call. I'm sure that she's going to call and hammer me about the book thing. This has got to be the angle that she's coming.
No, I wasn't
okay,
going to
good.
go there
Good.
with the book.
It was a horrible analogy, so don't even.
It really was.
No. But I do want to clarify that because there are a lot of people who take, there were, how many books were written while Prince was alive?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
About his life?
Yeah.
A lot. Then most of the majority of people who were stopped were the people who signed a non-disclosure agreement when they were working with him. So whenever you worked with him, most people, not everybody, you had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which may be why a lot of the women had albums made because he wanted them to sign the non-disclosure agreement ahead of time. So that's the thing with the books. But you really can't sue anyone. He has a lot of money. You don't want to have a lawsuit, right? But you can't really sue anyone for writing about a person or researching them as an autobiography. Not an autobiography, but a biography.
Now,
that's freedom of speech.
So
there's the difference.
Do you own any Prince bootlegs?
Ooh.
I don't, but I might. I don't know, because, I wasn't that up on Prince's, all the bootleg stuff back then. I only went to one Prince concert, so I wasn't like the Prince fan.
What I
mean? Like
one concert.
I went to one.
Next
I never
caller.
went to a Prince. No, but see,
I want to know which one.
I grew up there,
Yeah,
so
which one?
I went to his concerts at home locally, but after I left in '80, I never went to a Prince concert except for musicology.
Okay.
That's a good one.
And people don't believe that. And that's absolute truth. My husband and I, we enjoyed his music. I bought his music. My husband bought his music. He's a big music fan. He buys everybody's music. But I had never been. There was one where I tried to go see One Night Alone. But again, remember, I had 2 kids and was traveling lived a lot of different places. And I just never was able to go. I almost went to One Night Alone.
The one that
musicology was my first in Oklahoma, and I went. Jerome told me to come to the opening in Minneapolis because they were opening. I went there for the one night, and then I did 3 nights at Paisley, and that's it. I had never even been to Paisley Park until then.
Yeah, it's the One Night Alone tour would have been a great tour for you to go to because it was definitely grown folks music. It was one of the best bands that yeah.
So for me, after he passed away, I really had to, all of my friends were telling me, you need to go back and listen to all the music, try to look at the concerts, and just try to fill in the gaps, you know? So I had to do that just for a lot of reasons, but I did that. But again, now the other issue with the books, and there are books out there. There's one book that has all of the Sign of the Times lyrics in it, but it could have been overseas. But, there's there's something called fair use for journalism. So let's say I'm hoping that if I'm writing about Little Red Corvette, I can write some of the lyrics into it. But just in case I can't, I will describe it in such a way where I'm not using his actual words. So that's the difference. And I never signed a non-disclosure. He never asked me. We didn't get that far. I wasn't going into the business. So there you go. So I can talk about my life and my relationship with Prince. Right. That's nobody's business but mine.
Right.
But I'm not, it's not like I'm going to go, which all the women always ask me to certain specific things about Prince. And I'm not doing that. I'm just writing about my relationship meeting him and all of the other stuff that went on in my life. And he's just one part of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other interesting people in there, and some I can't even mention, but because I just don't want to. Anyway, so there. Now, getting to your point about the bootleg. Personally, I probably do have bootlegs because they've been selling everything off of all these sites since he passed. But when you found it, you should have kept your mouth shut because when you promoted it, and I think you are held to a higher standard. That's all I'm saying. You're Mr. Christopher. So you were held to a higher standard. And then you just told everybody where to go get it. So they probably shut them down by now. I don't even know if that place is open.
Oh, man.
They're probably closed after hours.
That's what I would have done. I would have just kept my mouth shut. But, really, if I would have went in there, I probably wouldn't even know it was a bootleg. I wouldn't have known it. I just bought it.
I looked wrong. Now you're being held to a higher standard.
I can't hear him. I don't know what he's saying.
Whoever's
higher standard. Didn't you go into this with Morris Hayes once and other people?
Yeah, Morris and I have had conversations before too, but yeah, it's not really anybody that's holding me to a higher standard has really got low standards. You need to set.
Well, here's the deal. Here's a couple reasons why I think bootlegs are not good. Somebody sent me a bootleg of the one night of the last show he did, and it was horrible. It was horrible. The last show he did, it was horrible. His very last show.
The quality that you received, is that what you're saying?
It was bad, yeah. And I think Prince was. I mean, he doesn't want to put out stuff that is not up to his, up to his standards. So that's another issue. But it is his intellectual property.
Yeah, it is. So there's there's a lot of things here, obviously. Yeah.
I didn't mean to go after.
No, and yeah, I mean, and no, but that's true. I mean, but I actually have heard about some amazing concerts. I mean, amazing recordings of that final concert. But the reality of it is, I've got a fantastic recording of that last show. Not fantastic. It's really good. You can hear everything, and everything's really good. And there's a good mixture of crowd and whatever. But I'm waiting for that official release. I'm waiting for that official release. And I'm not trying to.
Someone just sent it to me, so
Yeah, I'm looking for that official release from, and that's the other thing too, is that there's this assumption that just because I buy the bootleg or that I buy an alternate recording from wherever it came from, that I'm not going to then buy the official version when it comes out. I had Crystal Ball in 1980. No, I take that back. 1989, 1990. I had Crystal Ball on cassette. I also had the Black Album on CD, a crappy recording on CD, but I had both the Black Album and Crystal Ball before either of those albums ever saw the light of day. And the day that it came out, well, not the day that it came out, the week that it came out officially, I purchased it. I was very disappointed, especially with Crystal Ball, because it was nothing like the song structures and the way that everything was originally set up, and he kind of felt like he needed to beef it up and do some other things with it. But the reality of it is that I will always support the estate. I'm not going to buy the hits #1 on purple vinyl that just came out. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I have no interest in getting the hits on purple vinyl. There are people out there who want it.
But some people are, because Chris, you have to remember that there's a lot of people like me. I mean, I knew the music, like I said, but I didn't know all these intricate songs. We have the albums. But there are people who are new fans now that want that music. And so we have to encourage that, because we want to keep the state open and the museum open.
Absolutely.
And so I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying that you're in a position where people look up to you. So next time you find something, just keep it to yourself.
Lauren says, I have a bootleg of the Funkatopia show. 12, 15, 20.
Exactly.
Give me $30.
Well, how would you feel if somebody stole your stuff and like they do me? My columns and my syndicated columns that I lifestyle columns are over in Japan and China and everywhere, and I'm not getting paid for it. So, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, it happens though. It happens though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think part of what we're talking about here is commercialization.
I'll try to go back and listen to whatever you said.
Oh, sorry. I was just listening to you.
All right. So she's okay.
She's gone. Okay, sorry.
I don't know.
forgot
I could hear you. You were obviously talking to her and replying, so I guess it's.
I thought I was.
Yeah.
I guess I was just talking to myself. I mean,
No,
I was
sure.
having a hard time talking to her and looking up to you at the same time, but because I do look up to you, man. Oh man, so much history. What I think is interesting though is that a lot of what we're talking about is commercialization of his music, and I'm pretty sure that's actually a Prince lyric, and about how that affects what an artist is able to put out, and a lot of that is, a lot of that control is given away as soon as you sign with a label. If you allow yourself to sign with a label the way they want you to sign with them. So, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing, if Prince would have let Warner Brothers really see all the stuff he was doing, that should already be out now. We wouldn't have bootlegs of it. I mean,
Right.
Warner Brothers would have put it out there. And then what are you saying then? You're saying, well, I'm not going to buy it, even though it's from Warner Brothers, and they, to some extent kind of screwed Prince over. I mean, I don't know. It's tough when it comes to art. And I agree. I don't think in our society that we pay our artists enough and give our artists enough. Now, Prince, he did pretty well. So,
Yeah, and the other thing too is that they couldn't release it especially in 85, 86, that era, where 1983, 84 he was getting into this mode where he was recording so much it was getting ridiculous. And then by the time 85 and 86 happened, you got to understand there was so many friggin' albums that were being recorded that nobody even knew about. I mean, we've had Dwayne Tudall on the show before talking about everything that was going on with 85, 86 with Love Sexy, Dream Factory, Camille. He literally at one point had 6 albums going at the same time, and that doesn't even include the stuff that he was recording on the side with Madhouse and The Family and everything else. So he was recording, the volume of music that he was recording just in that period of time was so voluminous, it created a huge kerfuffle.
I don't know one of those. I don't know how to handle the last one.
No, so anyways, it was just one of those things where, and Warner Brothers had explained that, when he was trying to get out of this contract in the 90s, because that was his main issue, was not that he wasn't making any money, because he was making crazy money, but he was upset that they wouldn't release the music as fast as he was making it, and they just couldn't. They were just like, we have a certain budget that we can do every single year, and it's not the Prince label, it's Warner Brothers, and we have Whitney Houston, or we have Lionel Richie, or whoever was on the label at that time. They have like all these artists, this long line of artists that are on this label that we have to spend marketing dollars for, that we have to do promotions for, we have to make posters, we have to do, there's all types of things that we have to do to help support these artists for their albums, not just yours. And what are they going to release 6 albums in a period of a year for him? They just couldn't do it. So I think the result of that,
too, they didn't want to spread themselves too thin doing that when they had these other projects. So yeah.
Yes. Lauren said a huge Farfignugan. That's not actually how you spell that, but that's okay. I'll let it. Not that I know the exact way, but I know it's not Nooden. So, and what is Elisa? Elisa saying they could have the industry change, but prior to that, Aretha, James, a lot of R&B artists had lots of singles coming out in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, and you got to understand that
True.
you have to understand that we're in a totally different world now, music wise, as far as the singles that are being, because we're living in a singles world for sure. There are artists that are out there right now that are
cameo song.
okay, single life. Yeah, so it is. There are artists that are out there that, you know, like I'm trying to think of some examples, like, you know, guys like Eminem and guys who are just, and even Bootsy Collins up to a certain point until he just released his album this year, and George Clinton and all these artists that just, all they do is just make singles, just appear on albums or just pump out a song here, a song there, and they're able to create enough revenue where they don't have to write an entire album in a year. They can just pump out singles and just deliver it however they want to deliver it. And that is just, oh my gosh, it's just it's just a totally different realm. And you know, it's kind of a little bit disappointing because I feel like Prince really would have done well in this current climate as far as that. And I think he was actually starting to take advantage of that. He was starting to take advantage of the way that people are digesting music now. Granted,
I feel like he was ahead of the time when he started the MPG Music Club, but something about the way he structured that didn't work, and he didn't make as much out of it as he wanted to. But I think he was in the right. I think he was going in the right direction. Yeah,
I mean, he was always ahead of his time, like way ahead of his time. I mean, even with the that's Ronlin, we're living in a single world, and she's just a single girl. Isn't that Material Girl though? Is that what that's supposed to be? You just I was like, what is that song from? Oh, she changed Material to single. Never mind. Sorry, I'm reading all these comments. I'm getting.
I was reading the one about the cod sack. I like that.
It's creating a kerfuffle.
Dude, I've been looking for one of those forever.
Word of the day. It is
word up. I've been looking for one of those.
So when you think of like all this stuff with, you know, how NPG Music Club used to be, that nobody friggin'. You think of all the artists that have tried to do something like that. He was like so ahead of his time, and it was just releasing music online. Who was releasing friggin' music online? And until Napster came in, once Napster happened, and that whole music file sharing insanity happened, it literally changed the entire music industry. But Prince was doing that before all that stuff really. Now there was a lot of BBS systems, and you want to get geeky, there were some people that were already kind of doing that, but he was way ahead of that curve. I can't think of anybody that was really doing anything even close to what he was doing, with the exception of Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel tried his hand at it, but it was more like on a lower level. But you know, you see these artists that just try to do what he did. And it's just a totally different world right now. And I think that what the world we're living in now, it makes bootlegging a lot easier for sure. From the recording equipment that you can go into a live show and you can actually record a pretty amazing quality concert that you attend, and get really, really good quality. I know I have a couple, but I'm held to a higher standard, so when we'll talk about those. But
oh hell. Does that mean we've reached the end?
No. I'm being whipped and slapped.
Oh, you're handling it pretty well. I never knew that about you.
I haven't been using my sound effects today.
Well, we were having some sound problems, so that's me. No, okay, thank God. I thought it was me for a second. I was like, that's not fair. If you're gonna start using clips of me laughing, then you're gonna have to pay up.
Anyways, there's like a bunch of them. Anyways, I had them all ready to go, but it was just like we were working through all this stuff. But anyways, let's go into a little bit of these questions here. We have some questions. What are your thoughts on Prince music that fans have they won't release? We don't technically know what they won't release. I can tell you they probably will not release Deliverance because of all the red tape that has been created from all this ridiculousness. So the only way you're probably going to get it is by, acquiring it online or clicking rewind. But
somebody mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, but there are so many different. You can go. Okay, listen. You can say what you want. This is not any. This is not any type of secret. You can go to YouTube and you could search for unreleased Prince stuff and see it and hear it. I mean, not you don't see it. You'll hear it. They actually have like a picture of Prince and then they'll play like an unreleased songs, and you can hear tons of released music from Prince, and it's out there, and it's not really super hard to find. So that all being said, what does that make you? If you're going to YouTube and you find something and you manage to figure out a way to acquire it on YouTube, which is not difficult to do, are you supporting the bootlegger there? Technically it counts as a view, but what the hell does that mean in YouTube world?
Yeah. Everything changed with digital. I mean, once we went into the digital world, it's hard to even have the same conversation about bootlegs that we did 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's just not the same. And I agree with somebody mentioned that not everything is on YouTube.
Yeah. Sterling said not everything is unreleased is on YouTube.
Yeah.
We still haven't heard much of the unreleased studio recordings. Well, yeah, I mean, we had talked about this before. We already know, and I keep naming these same examples, that there are 3 albums by Prince and Dave Pirner from Soul Asylum that are in that vault that we know of. We have no idea what those sound like. That's got to be insane. Where it's just Prince and Dave Pirner in the studio just cranking out music for what I guess was a few days. I also heard there was also a bunch of recordings from Kendrick Lamar said there was only that one recording that he did where he sat in with him when he was doing What's My Name, and he did a rap over that song. You can find that on YouTube. But that there was actually some other stuff that was actually recorded as well. There's the album from Sheena Easton that is in there. There is stuff that is in that vault that you're never going to hear. But as I saw mentioned, I don't remember who had mentioned this, but it was somewhere in the chat that I had saw that somebody was saying Prince was very careless. Now he was very careful, but at the same time he was careless also, because I remember when I was at the celebration and Sheila E. was at the celebration, and Sheila E. said she has boxes. Eric Leeds said the same things, that that they both have boxes of cassettes that Prince sent him. Boxes. And so there's like cassettes with tons of music ideas that he had that he wanted them to work on at one point in time. Some of them happened, some of them didn't, but they're out there. There's like all these cassettes that, people get moved, they get mishandled. There was so much that he just distributed to people just freely. Here, take it, whatever. It's unreal. But anyways, so in regards to this bootleg conversation, to kind of wrap things up, because we're already over time here. I personally do not see a problem, even though I'm held to a higher standard.
Yeah, I know, because you put your glasses on and told us what you thought. I'm with you, man.
You got the transitions going on.
They're blue light blockers, man.
Blue light blockers? Oh, okay. Is that
yeah. So now you look reddish gray.
Okay. So, I personally do not feel like you're supporting the bootleggers, even though technically I guess you kind of are, but it's actually technically the record store that actually is technically supporting the bootleggers, because once the bootleggers get the money from the record store, then that's that. Now, technically, you buying it from the record store is depleting their inventory, which then they'll turn around and buy more from the bootlegger.
Yeah, they're not going to buy it if they can't sell it. So,
Right. Yeah, I know there's that aspect to it, but, from that angle, the damage is already done. The bootlegger's already paid, So I think there's always going to be that. There's always going to be collectors. And again, we're not talking about casual Prince fans here. We're not talking about these folks. We're talking about the hardcore fans like you and me and like most of the people in here. And that's who we're talking about. We're talking about the people that are going to be dumping $20-25 on when you find an album that's got a bunch of songs in it that you've never heard before. And there are some people, there are some real douchebags, bootleggers that are out there. There was the one that what was the one that just and I'm sure the chat group folks can help me here. What was the last one that got sued? Let's see, Prince bootlegger sued. Was it the ones that came out? It was also in the Consequence of Sound. I'm actually pulling it up right now, but there's some bootleggers that are out there that are making all kinds. I mean, they're taking. I don't know where they're actually doing acquiring some of these materials, but I can't find the name of that. Why is this? It's got the court case, but doesn't name who they are. But there is a couple bootlegging groups that are out there that spend tons of. They actually have a series, the Transformation series, and also, but anyways, somehow they managed to acquire. iRecords is one of them, but there's another one too. But they somehow get a hold of really good quality versions of these songs, and then they put them on these CD collections, and they're like phenomenal quality CDs. And so, and whenever you see something come from these guys, it's like right out of the gate that this is going to be really, really high quality material. They had a bunch of stuff, and I think that causes a big problem, because those are the types of things that really kind of cause issues for the estate, because they may not have even considered releasing some of those particular songs that somehow got out into the ether and have ended up on these CDs, but they're out there, and unfortunately nobody is able to find it. But there's a couple of groups that are really, really big, and they have and I don't know what you do with those guys, because these are the bootleggers that we're talking about. It's hit and miss. You don't know who these people are. They're just random stuff that kind of comes from various sources, and the quality is in a variety of sources. But when you're doing it to a level where the quality of the stuff that you're putting out is like studio level quality, I don't know how you're getting this stuff. You're talking about serious theft there. You're talking about scenario where these people are acquiring music from someplace that's, who knows where this is coming from. But wherever it's coming from, it's pretty phenomenal friggin' quality stuff. And I think Sabotage is another one of them. Yeah, Sabotage was one of them, but that's not the one that was sued. If somebody looks up the ones that were sued, there was some guy who sued, was like a $22 million lawsuit that was,
he sued 22 internet users for $1 million each. I think that's what you're talking about, right?
Well, there's that, but there was one company that was actually really, really involved in. They released. What was the name of that series? It was a 6-part series. It was a 6 CD series, and they just kept on coming out with versions of like batches of music. It was pretty amazing. P-Funk says, I can't say that out loud. I do know this guy. Never mind. I'm not going to read it. I'm held to a higher standard.
You are, man.
For those in the
I
chat,
look up to you, man. You can't.
there are some people, right. There are some people that are involved in a process, that they make money. Everybody makes money somehow. This show, we have a bunch of supporters, and most of the people that support this radio station are supporting the radio station. And you guys are supporting Funkatopia through Patreon, patreon.com/Funkatopia, to help support the radio station that's playing music on your phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, whenever we don't have friggin' technical problems. But you guys are supporting this radio station, but you're not supporting, that money is not just being dumped in my pocket. Google was like, you want radio broadcasters? I got radio broadcasters.
Yeah, it's going to Google.
We pay ASCAP licensing fees. You're helping me to pay the licensing fees so that I can play this music on this radio station and actually pay the artists and make sure that when I'm playing music and you're listening to it, I'm not just taking the music and it's benefiting off of their music. I'm paying the artist. They scan everything that we play and pay the artist. And it's a nightmare. It's not friggin' fun at all. We've got every single time that we do a show, it's like this long list. Every single song gets documented into this huge ass spreadsheet. And it's a nightmare. It truly is a nightmare. But that's what you guys help support. I'm not just having a show online that talks about Prince and only talks about Prince, and we're only talking about Prince, and there's nobody benefiting than the person that's talking behind the mic. You have to contribute something to the process in order to benefit the people that what I'm saying is that even if you go out and purchase stuff, make sure that when those things actually do get officially released, that you make sure you're still doing your part to go out and support the estate and support Paisley Park and support the artists that you love. Rob will tell you, how many Dave Matthews Band friggin' shows do you think I've probably downloaded and listened to? And I think you've probably seen some stuff, but when the albums come out, we buy the albums.
Yeah, I don't think I can respond. I'm going to take the fifth on that. I don't want to get you in trouble.
I downloaded a lot of stuff, but it's okay because Dave Matthews Band is okay with it. But when they release an album, I'll go out and I'll actually buy the album. And same way with I bought 1999 Super Deluxe. I already have 1999, and I've already have most of the songs that are on that. I like a few of them. I probably bought that Super Deluxe just because there were 3 songs on it that I hadn't heard. Everything else on there, even the unreleased stuff, I had already heard and had already been listening to on a regular basis for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I still paid 70 friggin' bucks for that 1999 Super Deluxe just for those 3 songs that I hadn't heard. I didn't have to. I could have just emailed a friend and said, hey, do you have 1999 Super Deluxe? Send me this song, and this song, and we're good. That's what it could have done. Now, I'm not saying that there's other people out there that do what I do, because they don't. I know there's people that are never going to buy an album and they just live in the freebie world. And I get that. I get those people. I totally get it. I used to be one of those people before I had money. Before I had a job, I used to be that person. I used to be that person downloading stuff. Was like, I can't afford it, but as Black Thoughts, if you can't afford this, then steal the CD. I get it. I get it if you're people in financial straits and they want to be able to hear things. And with Spotify now, all you got to do is have $10 a month and you can hear everything you friggin' want. So you don't even have to have money. You can just go to Spotify and listen to it. Many people
listen to it. they're getting paid out of that. I mean,
Point
it's kind of like
cents.
well, it's but it's kind of like radio. I mean, radio used to pay too. So I mean, I guess radio still does, but whenever they played a song. So, but yeah, no, I agree. It's one of those things. It's like we're the different consumers. I think the ones of us who end up buying bootlegs are the consumers who are the big fans who are going to go out and buy the artist's music, no matter what. So
I still have yet to take one CD out of this friggin' thing. I literally have this 1999 Super Deluxe that I bought from the estate. I took out the book and I like gently, read the book and looked inside the book and then tucked it back in. But I still have yet to take one CD, not even the DVD, have I taken out of any of these cases. There's not
even the DVD.
Nope. Because
what's on the DVD?
Because they showcase.
I don't even know.
Because it's the show from what was the show? It was a show from I can't remember what the show was. Oh no, the DVD came with the Purple Rain Super Deluxe, and it was a direct port from VHS over to DVD, and it didn't even worry about improving the audio, improving the video. It literally was a direct VHS. But anyway, yeah, it was messed up. But they fixed that with this. But I still have yet to take out one CD out of this collection. Not one. My purpose was to support the estate. Even though I had everything on this, minus 3 songs. I don't even remember what those 3 songs were. And I didn't listen to those 3 songs on this box set. I listened to it on Spotify because I'm supporting the estate, but I'm not, and again, people are going to give me all kinds of crap about buying this vinyl Deliverance. But the second that it's released officially in some official form, I'll buy it. I probably won't listen to it. I'll buy it just because I'm supporting the estate. This was a collector's purchase. Some of us are collectors. We see things and we acquire things. My good friend Rodney here, I don't know if he's even in here tonight, but many of you know Rodney. He's a collector extraordinaire. I mean, he just collects ticket stubs and shirts and stuff, and he gets them from obviously a lot of legit places and collectors places and stuff. But I think all of us who are so super obsessive about acquiring stuff is just that's just the way that we are. Oh my gosh, wait a minute, we have another call here. I forgot that we even had a phone. I'm sorry. You've only been on hold for 5 minutes. Hold on a second.
Only 5 minutes?
Only 5 minutes. Let me see if
we can't pay for anybody to take care of that.
Okay, caller, you are on the line. Welcome to Funkatopia Radio.
Hey, it's Jeremy J. Soul from Tampa, Florida.
Hey, brother, how are you doing?
That's all. Hey, man, this was probably one of my favorite shows in the last couple of months. I'm really enjoying tonight.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So, do you own bootlegs?
Oh, hell yes, I do. Right. I think my favorite bootleg is the Can I Play With You set.
Yes.
That came out with Sabotage, with the Flesh Sessions, things of that nature.
Yeah, the Sabotage team seems to acquire a lot of different things, but there was a lot of things that came out of that. A lot of people aren't familiar with the Can I Play With You sessions, but basically this was a session and period of time for those who don't know who we're talking about here. And maybe we need to actually have a part of the show where we talk about, not necessarily tonight, but where we talk about some of the stuff that's out there that is really friggin' amazing. This one that you're talking about, the Can I Play With You sessions, was the sessions that actually happened. I guess it was like around the same time that Miles Davis kind of came into the fray with him. And there was only the one song that we heard with him playing Miles Davis, the actual the title of this set, the Can I Play With You. But there was a lot of other songs that came out of this mix. Cosmic Day was one that we had actually heard that was part of this mix as well. And then there was a bunch of other ones that came out of here. The junk music, that hour plus jam session junk music came out of that Can I Play With You. There was also different versions of Joy and Repetition, and there's all the different things that they didn't have titles for. Like it was just like Slow Groove in G major and Up from Below, and just all these different little weird mixes that kind of came out of these recording sessions that some say that Miles wasn't even part of, but that was the only time, Miles coming on stage and playing with him on New Year's Eve in Paisley Park was the only time they performed together. But apparently he was actually in the studio for a long time with Prince, and they recorded a bunch of just random unreleased tracks, and it's called Can I Play With You? But to your point, this is like one of those things where, okay, will we ever get an opportunity to kind of see these things in our lifetime? And is there it? I don't know. Can I Play With You was an excellent example.
I hate to say it. If Prince was still here, we would have never seen this music.
Correct. That is correct. And actually, Rob, you and I had this conversation before he passed, and I felt horrible that the words even came out of my mouth, but I said the same exact thing. I said there is so much music in that vault. He does not like looking in the rearview mirror. And because of that fact, he was just continuing to make amazing music and just continuing to barrel forward. And you're right. Now, however, he was involved in the creation of the Purple Rain Super Deluxe set. So a lot of those tracks that ended up on that Super Deluxe set were put onto that set by him. So I think that there would have been opportune moments for him to step in and be able to do that. But that would have been the only times that he would have, because you're right. He kept on moving forward, and I didn't have any problems with it because I loved all of his new stuff. I loved the vibe that he was starting in 2001 with the One Night Alone tour, aka the Rainbow Children tour, and moving forward. The music that he was pumping out was phenomenal. It was like grown folks music, but there's still so much stuff that was in the vault, like you said, that we would have never, ever gotten an opportunity to hear if he was still with us. And I said that to you, Rob. I said, the only way we're going to hear this is if he passes away. I didn't want that to happen. I feel like I'm cheated out of the fact that, I want to be 70 something years old and taking my walker into some bar and watching Prince sitting on a stool, an 85-year-old Prince sitting on a stool with an acoustic guitar. I'm going to play you a little ditty now or whatever. And I feel like I get cheated out, like all these people that are like Tom Jones fans and these guys that are like way up in the, nobody listens to them anymore because their heyday is like long gone. But they were super fans like we are of those artists, and they, the fact that they were able to get those moments, I feel like we got cheated out of it. But you're right. We would have never heard those songs.
And speaking of One Night Alone, there is a audio recording. I have to go through my files where Prince, during the sound check when he was inviting fans, and Prince was talking about the previous night's show. I'm paraphrasing now, but he was talking about the previous night's show, and he said, "Hey, y'all need to get a copy of that."
Yeah, and
so he was encouraging it to some extent.
Yeah, and I've actually heard shows where they were entering into a jam session, and after the session, while they were playing in a little bit of a instrumental part of a riff, he would say, "Where's my bootleggers at?" Because he, without anybody there recording it, there would have been no documentation of whatever jam that they just did, and so he's like hoping in some cases that there's somebody there that's actually recording it. According to Morris Day, they recorded every single show in some form or fashion was recorded, every single one. And I just, I always find that shocking, but you got to think not only song wise, we just got done talking about the fact that we just got done doing Prince Giving, where we played every single one of Prince's songs in chronological order, including the ones. And it took us over 4 days to do that. And that doesn't even include the songs that we don't have, like even just the handful that I had mentioned before, but also all the other live recordings of these random jam sessions, like the ones you were just talking about with Can I Play With You, where there's a slow jam and G major and all this stuff. All these jam sessions that, the News album and also the C Note album were perfect examples of jam sessions, just songs that they had and that they recorded in Copenhagen or wherever they happened to be, and they just recorded it, and it was good enough to be a song. And I think there's so much of that with sound checks. Junk Music is another example. Junk Music was just a jam session that they just had. What's the name of that song that was just released on Sound of the Times Super Deluxe? Ice Cream.
Soul Psychedelicide.
Yeah, Soul Psychedelicide.
Oh,
Soul
okay.
Psychedelicide, there are literally like 7 different versions of Soul Psychedelicide that exist out there, and one of which that I have, yes, I have a bootleg of Soul Psychedelicide, is literally an hour and 10 minutes long, and it is like way longer than the one that they just released. And it's like longer than
Is it the parade rehearsal?
I'm not exactly sure when the timeline of it was, but it was like an hour. It was like way over an hour long, and he's actually walking the band through some of the stuff. It's like, don't hit the hi-hat right there. Don't just do the snare. Don't yet. No need to hit the snare right there. Don't overwork yourself, because this is going to go on for a while. But and it's like this whole.
That's the parade rehearsal.
Yeah, it's like a whole entire. So there's like not a lot of these examples that, there's so much of this that's out there that if everything were to be, just think about just the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. There were over 4 dozen friggin' songs on that Super Deluxe that were previously unreleased. 4 dozen. There are artists out there right now that do not have. Does Ariana Grande even have 4 dozen songs? I'm talking about this. Like, it's just amazing to me the volume of music that he had. It's staggering, and it's unreal. And I'm looking forward to the Super Deluxe. I'm very, very excited that Dwayne Tudall is actually part of this process now, because Dwayne is now the senior archivist for the estate, and it is just the music that he is kind of working with them to put onto these deluxe sessions and these releases is just unreal. And just for people's knowledge, to get people excited, and it's total rumor. You heard me. I'm prefacing it right now. It's a rumor, and I've been tight-lipped about it, but here is the rumor. Next year, 2021, is going to see the Super Deluxe edition release of Parade. So the sources that I'm hearing it from are pretty reliable sources. So here's what I can tell you. I think the problem that they're working through right now is the film component of this. And the film component of this it's because the fact that the movie was released and then it switched hands as far as the rights were concerned over and over again, and flipped and flopped. And the film release just got toasted in a variety of different ways. And so now apparently on paper, there's like 4 or 5 different owners of that movie now under the Cherry Moon. And so because of that, it's causing some legal kerfuffle. So it's causing some legal problems for all those involved. But from what I understand, that is what's in the mix. And, you've heard me probably mention that I knew something was coming and I just never divulged it. There's my Christmas present to all of you. Thank
you, my brother.
The divulge. And that's, whether or not that actually happens, I don't know. But that was what I had heard. and that is obviously chronologically the next one in the mix, so that technically does make sense. But the thing that I'm obviously looking for more than anything else right now coming up is Dwayne Tudall's book that's coming out next year. I think he's shooting for the first quarter of next year, where he's going to be covering Prince's career in 85 and 86. That's going to be talking about all those albums that were in the mix, from Parade to Camille to The Family to Dream Factory, to all those albums and everything that he was working on, all the details of everything that was happening. So it's going to be, for those who are Prince heads, Dwayne Tudall's book is what you got to be waiting for. But for music folks, which we all are, that is what I've heard is going to be the next thing coming out, but we don't have any, there's been no confirmation of that. But hey, I'm also the same guy who started this rumor that they were going to be putting the hits on purple vinyl and that it was coming out. And I told you guys this a month ago. And I think it was like 3 weeks ago, Rob, when you were on the show, and I said it was a rumor, and I dragged it on and on and on and on and on.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was so exciting.
And now, it was exciting. And now the rumor is true. So, they're probably not going to divulge anything else to me from now on. Now that I've already shared two secrets,
anything else.
Now that I've already shared two secrets, and one of which has already come to pass, and it's going to be awesome for it. I would love to see Parade coming, but it would get people excited. I mean, go ahead and get people wired up, man. Even if you are working through some things, and maybe that's the angle that they don't want to get things going and put themselves at a disadvantage at the bargaining table because of this licensing stuff. I don't know. But until, that's probably why they never officially announce anything, is because they're just trying to make sure they have a little bit of a hands up in the scenario. But yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Fellas, you guys take it easy. You have a nice holiday season. Rob, stay safe. Chris, stay safe, okay?
I will. Go Bucks.
Thanks, you too.
All right, go Bucks. One thing I want to leave you with.
Sure.
From my understanding, the 94 and 95 bootlegs at Paisley Park were booted in the bathroom. Were recorded in the Paisley Park bathroom. Just wanted to share that weird tidbit. You guys have a good evening. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
All right, man. Take care.
Okay, there you go. And it doesn't surprise me whatsoever because
what are you doing in there? Hey, what are you doing in there?
It doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Hey, I gotta go.
Because I had heard that Prince had actually had all of Paisley Park mic'd everywhere. This is obviously before all this stuff, but everywhere in Paisley Park was mic'd. And so that no matter where he was, if he had an idea, if he happened to be sitting on the toilet, he could actually record anywhere that he was at, so that if he had an idea, he could just hum it, or he knew where the cameras were, he knew where the microphones were, he could just go and he could just sing, and he knew that it was being captured at all times. April's like, boo Bucks. I know, I was being nice. And she goes, and I'm from Tampa. Yeah, let me tell you something. You want a tough world? Let me show you a tough world, my friend. Let me show you a tough world. A world that is only beaten by
I don't have any card stuff here.
the Jets, maybe.
Come on, man. The Jets are going to make it.
You know what? I got to say, hats off to the Cleveland Browns. Okay, let me just.
All right. Okay.
Let me just say this. I know that they're not in the running. Well, they're in wild card status right now. But hats off to the Cleveland Browns, who have consistently been at the bottom of the barrel every single friggin' year, and have finally started to figure things out and have figured making it work. And I'm just glad, because I have a couple friends who are Browns till I die. And so it's always good, when you see them win, when your team loses and you're like, all right, what else do I got to vote for? Oh, look, the Browns won. At least so-and-so's happy. So it's always good to see bands that are, our bands, teams that are doing well. Everybody's just doing their things. just kind of just chatting away about football
Yep.
now. Anyways, look, guys, everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are like way over. We normally do this from 8 to 10, but we've gone way over the mark. And I'm so glad that you guys hung out and we actually we had a little bit of a rough start, but I think we kind of got everything figured out now with the audio that we can actually do this. We can actually hear you. I can keep everything here in the set. Yeah, it's working. It's okay. It's good. Good.
All right. Yeah.
April goes, I wonder if the bedrooms would ring. Maybe. Sterling says Originals 2 would be great for a 2021 release as well. I did actually hear a little bit of there's some songs that he could have put. I can't think of all the songs he could put on there. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough for an Originals 2. There probably is. I can think of at least a handful of songs. There's probably some stuff that we did not know about for sure. Listen, man, absolutely. If you need any type of last minute Christmas presents and you know somebody who is a funk fanatic and you want them to be ordained and dressed appropriately for the season, then absolutely, positively, you need to make sure that you get a hat. That's right. Pretty hat. I see some people have actually gone in and actually purchased some hats. These are amazing, very, very cool Funkatopia gear. We've got and anybody that put in orders, they will be shipped out tomorrow. I want to make sure that whatever anybody orders, I can get it out to you guys to make sure that it's not going to have like pretty notes or anything, but I want to make sure that you have what you need. But there are really, really cool slouch hats in black and black and gray, this color here. There's also tan. There's also those cool. Here's the tan. They're so pretty.
It doesn't look tan, man. It looks, I don't know what color that is.
Yeah, I don't. And what the heck? Oh yeah. And then of course these are the hats that these are really thick. These are really, really thick winter hats.
Now the thickness comes across. The purple, but the thickness comes across.
Well, this is not really, and again, this is like deceptive on the on this camera. You have to look at the picture on the store, but it's lilac. Mei Ling said,
"Oh, lilac."
I said light purple, and Mei Ling said, "That's lilac." So
yeah, dude,
lilac. So I guess if it's for the ladies, it's lilac, but these are regular beanie hats. Are very, very cool, and they're very thick. They're very amazing winter hat. I do not know what's in stock and what's not. I see like about 5 or 6 orders in here, so I don't know what's in stock and what's not. But get there and free shipping. Also free shipping if you're a Starfish and Coffee fan. Susanna Melvoin, actually on her website, starfishandcoffeeofficial.com. She's actually got a bunch of Starfish and Coffee merch, t-shirts, sweatshirts, Christmas ornaments and stuff like that that she's actually got on sale. And she's doing free shipping too. But go to Funkatopia first and pick up your Funkatopia gear. And I'll make sure the orders get out. Funkatopia.com/shop, I think is what it is.
You got it, man. I just put it up there.
There you go. Awesome. Elena says, there's a bunch of different names that we could technically use. Lavender, periwinkle, or lilac.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elena. Elena says, also be patient because the holiday deliveries are backed up in UPS. Yes, and actually they are. They absolutely are. It's already bad enough during the season. So my mother came up with a great idea, like many of her great ideas, that we would make cookies, at least like 3 or 4 dozen cookies, and send a few cookies to each one of the family members that were in this group. So it ended up being like 36 cookies. There was so we're making cookies and sending like 3 cookies each to each one of these people. So you'd get like, by the time it was done, you had like 3 dozen cookies, all different kinds.
Okay, gotcha.
With this UPS delivery thing, you're getting cookies that are like 2 weeks old at this point. You know, because you stick them in the mail and they're only supposed to take like 3 days to get there, but then they don't show up for like 9 days. And it's like these are 9-day-old cookies that have been sitting in a bag in a box being shipped in a bunch of different.
It's kind of like cookie a day. It's like because they're not going to all come at the same time. It's like so every day you get stale cookies.
It's just like this. This is not. This was not a good idea.
You know what you should do? You should send toilet paper around to everybody.
Adriana says they're great. I want to lilac. These are. Elena says a Pantone color snob. Yes. Nega says I'm a member, but I can't find the store. The store is actually on Funkatopia. It's funkatopia.com/shop. So funkatopia.com/shop. Yes, it was fun. We had a good time. So we will not be on next week. We will not be on next week. Because it's Princemas.
Oh, it's a holiday and it's Christmas.
Well, no, it's the Christmas holiday, but starting this Saturday at noon, we start Princemas. So we'll
that's a holiday. That's what I said. It's a holiday.
Princemas is the holiday. Yes.
Yeah.
And it will go from Saturday, this Saturday at noon, and will run all the way through to I want to say like Monday morning. It's going to be the timing is going to be kind of weird, but so we'll be back in 2 weeks doing the live thing. But next week which is going to be right before the New Year's Eve. So we'll figure it all out, and then we'll do something special. So Princemas is going to be a concert from every single year that he played from 1979 to 2016. We're finding the best concerts from every single one of those years. You can obviously expect to hear the Montreux shows. You can obviously expect to hear the One Night Alone shows. And you can probably expect to hear the final shows too. Good quality recording of the final shows. So you're probably going to be able to hear all that. There's going to be, it's going to be a lot of that. So you're going to be able to hear a lot of the shows because Prince was okay with me sharing, but I'm not selling it to you. Your support of the station has nothing to do with that. It has to have licensing fees and paying the artist for those songs. Because when I play Kiss in concert, the song gets credited to Kiss by Prince. That's how that works. Sharing is caring. I feel like I should be like hearts coming out of my chest.
The Chris Queer Bear.
You say Queer Bear? The Chris Queer Bear.
No, I did not say that, but that sounds like your own thing. Seems like there's some things that you hadn't told me about.
Yeah, I think you pretty much know everything. There's not much that you don't know. There's a lot of people in the world that know me, but there's nobody on the planet that knows more about me than this guy over here. Nobody.
I'll be selling bootlegs of that stuff for $10 an incident.
When I die, the book is coming.
I've been writing a lot of it down, man. Don't worry. When you die, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna publish it.
He knows more than my mother. He knows more. It's like disturbing how much this guy knows. It's just like, matter of fact, I'm going to kick you off the show. Goodbye. So anyways, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be great. Happy holidays to everybody. Everybody stay safe. So we will not see you. I'm sure that I might come on for a quick live during Christmas or during not to interrupt the show, but just to kind of say hello and make sure everybody's doing good. And I can do anything about it if you're not. But I still will check in and say hello. And then on next Tuesday, Tuesday from now, we'll do something. I don't know what. We do have the 20 best funk albums of 2020, the 20 best of 2020. That is actually coming, and those albums are already picked out, but they could shift around before the actual release. And so I'm thinking what I might do next Tuesday is that I might have a live show where I actually talk about those 20 shows or 20 bands or 20 albums. Let me keep correcting myself. Do the 20 albums and play a track from each one of those albums for a show for next Tuesday. So that should be a lot of fun too. So if you want to figure out what those 20 bands are, do that. Anyways, was I going to say? I'm looking at what I'm saying on the chat room, even though I'm not typing.
I like it, man. I like putting words in your mouth.
How are you? I don't understand how you're logged in as me.
Well, I'm not exactly sure either, to be honest. I went to the website, and I don't really do Facebook.
You went to what website?
Your website. And it said that. What?
No, I want the details. Go.
Yeah, so I went to the website because I thought maybe I could get the audio through there, and then it said I needed to log in. But I don't do Facebook. I don't do any of that stuff because I'm mentally challenged. So really, and it's not good for my mental health. And so
the debate is that people who are mentally challenged are
right. So when it asked me to log in so that I could view the site, it wouldn't let me do anything. So I had to log in. So I logged in as myself, and apparently I still have access to the Funkatopia site that you set me up with. I don't know, a couple of years ago.
There you go. I was like, how am I typing things and it's appearing? This is weird.
What was funny to me is it took you so long to notice.
Well, I just kept looking over there. I was just like, man, I gotta stop with these supplements because
like, what do I got to do to get his damn attention? I'm in. Put me in the game, coach.
Get in there, Brad.
Rudy's ready to go.
All right. So everybody, happy holidays. Princemas is coming this Saturday at noon. And of course, we'll see you in a couple Tuesdays from now. I don't know what that Tuesday will be. We're actually working on a couple of special guests, so that may shake out too. So we'll just see what happens. And yeah, Adriana goes, I thought it was you. It was not me. Oh my God. Somebody used the love sexy story against me. There's a video clip of young Mr. Chris illegally getting $100 for an ATM.
Actually, you know what?
Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's great.
I'm going to start tracking down some videos and pictures. Actually, there's here's something. I'd like to see if somebody can find it.
Oh Lord.
There is a commercial that Chris and I did.
I have
in the 80s. You still have it?
I still have it.
Oh wow. Yeah, there's a commercial we did for what was it?
We did a commercial for United Way.
United Way, that's what it was with Falcons football star. I can't remember his name.
Falcons.
It was
for United Way. Falcons. It was outside of the Varsity Junior.
Yep.
And it was outside of the Varsity Junior, and we were recording. It was just this commercial, and I had to drive, and we were supposed to be drunk driving, and I didn't even have a license at the time, and they wanted me to.
That's what was really funny is they wanted you to drive. You were like, you got to come with me, Rob, because somebody has to drive the car.
I don't even have my license, and it was like, you're just driving around the parking lot. I was like, I don't even have my license. I'm not even really comfortable driving.
And you're driving with 3 other minors.
Yeah, and one of which wasn't a minor, one of which was older person.
Was she?
Okay. Yeah, she looked really. Yeah. So we'll have to break out the commercial. Let me see if I can locate that commercial.
I'd like to see if somebody could find it. I think that'd be more interesting.
Well, you know what's funny is I've done 5 television commercials. I've done 2 for United Way, 1 for Coca-Cola, and 2 for Nancy Reagan's Just Say No campaign. So I've done 5 national television commercials, and
wait a minute.
And I only managed to have 1. What he is saying, wait a minute on, is the fact that I did Just Say No commercials for Nancy Reagan, which is obviously hilarious because that was a period of my time.
Yeah, he's who they were targeting those commercials at, really. I mean,
yes, I should have been the recipient of the message, but I was not. I was on the, and this was actually.
I just learned something about you that I didn't know.
Well, I think it was like right before I met you.
Oh, okay.
It was right in that window, so I was still living down in downtown Atlanta, right where I lived in Ladon, that area. I was still down there, but yeah, I had to do. So somewhere online there are Just Say No commercials for Nancy Reagan that I did, One of which was I was singing a song and I don't remember what, and there was like 3 other people. So I was a singer and I had 3 background vocalists too. And there was another one, I was also the singer and I had to rap. And this was like the early days of rap. This is like the early 80s. And so you can imagine me with I had crazy permed hair, and I was doing some rap about just say no. And I've tried to find any of those commercials, and the only one that I have proof that I even did was the one that I did with you, which is the United Way one that we did with gosh, what is his name?
I know I can't believe I can't remember his name because he's a good football player. He's a running back, I think, for the Falcons. I can't think of his name. He was like big name back then.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but anyway, so yeah, really big, and it was kind of funny. And
that says what? That the only one that lasted was the one that had me in it. So there you go.
Right, there you go. So, but I'm sure somewhere on YouTube, if you search for Nancy Reagan Just Say No commercial, and you sift through however many gazillion of them there are.
That sounds awful. I'm not doing that.
Link says try the Reagan Library. That's true. You could probably go to the Reagan Library, and we want to sit there for a few hours and see if you can find that horrendous video of me. I want to. It's so funny. I just want to. Your wife said
there aren't enough drugs in the world to make me do that. To be honest,
your wife says you are the poster child for Just Say No.
I think she's talking to you.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just repeating what she said. I didn't.
Okay, all right.
It's under me. Yes. Yes. Yep. Jennifer also knows quite a bit about me, but she still does not know a lot. Well, I don't know. I don't know how much you shared.
I don't either, to be honest. She was around for a lot of it, though.
That's true. Yes. Yes, Lords. Nancy Reagan, say what? Yes, I did 2 commercials for Nancy Reagan's Just Say No campaign. This was back in the 80s. I did 2 of them. And I remember when I did the rap, when I did the rap one, it was on TV like everywhere. It was on TV in the 80s in Atlanta. I don't know if it was outside of Atlanta or not. But I remember I had to go to the Georgia World Congress Center to perform that song in front of a bunch of kids at the World Congress Center. And I remember going down the escalator at the World Congress Center, and I was dressed in my normal 80s regalia. I think I had like a white suit and a yellow tie. I don't even remember what I was wearing. I'm sure it was something horrendous.
I remember the white suit.
And I came down, and the kids were going nuts. And it was so stupid. It was just like, I don't even know. And they were just going nuts. I'm coming down the escalator, and they're treating me like I'm a fan or something. I mean, like a huge star. And I have to get off, and I get on the stage, and I was on the stage for all of 2 minutes. They introduced me, and then I came on, and I did the rap. I was like, and then
that sounds amazing, man.
80s, who knows? And in true Chris style, when I got off the stage, there was a line of girls that wanted my autograph, and I autographed like every single one of them. There must have been, I don't know how many there were.
You autographed the girls?
Just like cards and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha.
I didn't. Yeah, these like
they were like giving them like, hey,
some of they were about my age, I guess, which was kind of weirder. There was like this boy band type of thing, and I was writing my phone number on every single card that I signed. So I wasn't just autographing going. I was autographing and going 404 blah 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 blah. If she was I brought it, and then for the next 3 days, my mother was going to kill me because it was like for all hours of the night, like all hours of the day and night for like 3 or 4 days. The phone was like bring 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 bring, and I'm just like, hey, what do you have a girlfriend? No, I don't. And at the time, I did have a girlfriend, And she set up one of her friends to call me and ask me if I had a girlfriend. And I said no. And then she got mad. She goes, I just told my friend to call you and ask if she had a girlfriend. You said no. Why'd you say no? I was like, I just wanted to see what she'd say. And it was it was such a stupid time in my life. It was just ridiculous. But
It really was. I'm not saying that it wasn't stupid for me too, but it was pretty stupid for you.
I really have to write a book. I swear to God, I really have to write a book.
I was like right here, but you were like right here.
I really have to write a book about some of this stupid oh my gosh, that's just hilarious. All right, I gotta go. We all gotta go. It's like 11 o'clock. We definitely gotta sign up. This is almost like our conversation when we talk on the phone, Rob, where it's like, all right, we're gonna go, and then a half hour later. Happy holidays, everybody. I am I just said white suit, pink dirt.
I was just letting Lawrence know that it was actually a white suit with a pink shirt.
Yes, Lawrence said, final offer tonight. I have a video clip of Chris performing damage. It says a pink suit. Yeah, there's
some video of Chris singing though. You've probably already shown that, haven't you?
I don't think so.
With any of your bands? No. Okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of video out there of me singing. There's plenty of that. You just gotta look for it. I'm not offering it up. I consider myself a pretty decent singer, but
yeah.
I don't like I don't want to do that.
Okay,
everybody, happy holidays. Thank you guys. Rob, thank you for the craziness and whatnot. We're gonna play the music now. Let's see if I can turn let me see if I can turn the radio station back to normal. I got a feeling that's not going to happen. This is going to be an absolute friggin' nightmare. Matter of fact, has the okay. I was seeing if the radio station has been silent this whole entire time. That would have been hilarious, but it's not. Thank you everybody on the radio for your patience. This is definitely a visual show, but most of the time. I mean, there's still stuff here to talk about, but that's all. Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. See ya. Adios.
Night.
Get ready. Go to Funkatopia.com/shop. Buy those hats. Funkatopia.com/shop. What are you about to yell? Are you about to yell something? That you have that look like.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I do.
Gentlemen, I've got something to say.
Tonight, I'll be having cheddar cauliflower on baked bread. I don't know.
Hats are in inventory. The slouch hats on aisle 9.
No, I was just going to say happy holidays, everybody. Have a great new year. And definitely, if you're in Georgia, you got to get out and vote.
Thank you. Lauren said we're cool. He has no idea who we are.
I know, right?
We will change your mind drastically. It's just
right.
All right. Yes, and Pamela, early voting is open now through December 31st for those who have states that are in contention, like Georgia.
I think you're the last one.
Oh my God. I friggin' hate. I want to be able to watch television again, where it's just not all these stupid commercials. I was like so glad when everything was over, and then was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. They said runoff, and I was like, fudge. Yes.
All right, man.
Good night, everyone. We'll talk later. Let's put some music on. That's I don't know what would even play.
I don't know. Maybe play some Prince.
Yeah, I'll play some Prince. How's that?
That's a good idea.
Good night, everyone. See you later. All right, I'm going to switch off. See you later. I think we're off. I don't know. We're not off here, but we're off the radio
live,
station.
man.
I think we're off on the radio station. Could be, possibly. Anyways.
I got a little red thing in the left-hand corner that says live, and it's still counting down, man.
Yeah, no, I know we're live still here.
Oh, shit.
I know we're still live here. But,
shit.
Sorry. We wanted to give these people in the chat room a little bit of extra stuff, but we're good. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next 2 weeks from now. Get ready. Prince Smith is coming, and order your Funkatopia gear. Make sure you order your Funkatopia gear. It's coming. Good night. See you around. I'll call you in a bit.
Yeah, probably.